daughter had an affair with my other daughter's husband, so I uninvited her from Christmas. Did I go too far? This is OKOP, the home of the craziest stories in the world. I'm Sam. And John, do you think OP went too far?
If you're trying to sleep with your sister-in-law, basically, brother-in-law, basically.
I'm just trying to get closer to my family.
That might be a little too close for the family.
But
You know what I mean?
We're close to right now.
What?
The Christmas season. Happy holidays. Ho, ho, ho.
Ho, ho, ho. In the right way.
Yeah, I mean, I think we might have at least one ho in this story. So let's get into it. Let us
spill that tea.
So Electronic Gas 5769 says, I am the mother of 4 children, 2 older sons and 2 younger daughters. All of them are adults and have moved out a long time ago. I've always been close with my daughter, Sally, while Penny has always liked to have her own space, which I don't mind. They're both beautiful, talented young women that I thought I couldn't be more proud of.
I thought?
Oh. Because they are thoughts. We're having early Christmas this year. First week of December, I was inviting everyone around for Christmas dinner, gift giving, and the lots. When I phoned Penny yesterday to clarify a few things, she mentioned that she and her husband would not be coming.
Why?
When I asked, she said they had separated for now as he had cheated.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
I cheated on you.
I gave this in a box to someone new.
And they opened it.
I said that it was surely better to spend time with family if this was the case, and maybe she should come home for some time. Like, who better to console you and comfort you than your family?
Exactly.
Who better to bone husbands than family?
Put ICU in the comments if you know it's about to happen.
She ummed and she awed, but then eventually she told me he had an affair with none other than effing Sally.
There it is.
And guess what, John? Guess what?
What?
It wasn't a one-time thing.
No. Don't make it multiple times.
It wasn't a 2-time thing.
No.
John,
Stop.
It was 2 years. They had been seeing each other for the past 2 years. I felt sick. For the past 6 months in our talks, Sally has alluded that she has been seeing someone and was typically girl in love.
God.
You'll never guess who I'm seeing. You'll never guess. I uninvited Sally to the Christmas gathering and blocked her.
Wow.
OP's the mom.
Wow.
OP blocked Sally.
Instant no contact.
I don't know if I'm able to deal with her before Christmas, but this is family time and family can't hurt each other like that. I'm at a loss, in all honesty. Penny is now coming, which is good because at this time she needs stability of people who love her, in my opinion. The problem is that Sally naturally thinks I'm in the wrong. It's none of my business, and as her mother, I can't block her and remove her from the family. As her mother, I think she can.
I think she literally can do that.
My sister thinks I shouldn't get involved in their personal lives, which I think is BS. My daughter needs us right now. But then she tells me I have 2 daughters to think about, which I think isn't true. Sally has forfeited that right at the moment. You are no longer my daughter. Which, what do you think? Is that too far? I'll take a pause right here. There's much more to the story, but I would love to know from the audience, do you think OP's taking it too far where it's like, I'm not your mother anymore? I would love to know your comments. Put it down. But John, what do you think?
I think it's totally fair to be like, kind of like temporary, basically, where you're like, hey, I'm going to block you right now because we are going into the holidays. Your sister is the one that needs consoling and support right now. So I want to make sure I'm there for her. We're going to dive into this like mess later. But for right now, like you did this horrible thing. She needs her family to be there to support her.
Yeah, I do. I think
that's fair.
I if I was OP, I would probably say that in a text rather than just outright blocking.
Yeah.
I think uninviting her makes sense because
totally. It's going to be a
it's going to be a shit show. But I think the better thing to do would just be being transparent and saying, hey, this is why you're uninvited. I'm not blocking you, but I am going to prioritize the person that you just...
She must be just super emotionally charged right now. Which makes sense.
Makes sense. So thankfully, my husband is cooperating with Sally at the moment, but he is also in solidarity with me. So are we in the wrong for uninviting a daughter for Christmas? Again, put your answers in the comments. Edit, my husband showed me that this has gotten a lot of responses, too many for us to answer them all, but we will be reading them before bed. So I guess this is a cute little bedtime.
Yeah, I feel like this is so
snuggle up with your boo and with a Reddit
tuck
story.
me in with my hot chocolate right before Christmas and read me all the Reddit
let me sip
stories.
some of that juicy tea to get right into the bedtime action.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. No better foreplay than a Reddit story about your kids. A small update. Penny's mother-in-law found out. While me and her have only spoken a few times, she did dote on Penny, and I know Penny got along well with her. I haven't spoken to her personally, but I know she phoned my daughter and was really supportive and crying. My sister said that if Sally isn't invited, then she isn't going either, which is fine by me. She wasn't invited in the first place due to the pandemic. Otherwise, I've been working and doing some crochet, so it's been quiet. So before the update and such, is OP the a-hole? Yes or no? What do we think?
You know what? If you're forcing me to say it, the cheating sister is an a-hole. For sure.
Yep.
I do think the mom is a little bit of an a-hole, like 1% over the line. Well, maybe a few percent it's over the line because it is such a immediate extreme reaction bringing it down. When is there some potential conflict resolution that
/ context? Is there any context?
Is there any context that's missing? Yeah, I think basically OP's like, you're not my daughter anymore, right?
Yeah.
Which like
is the most extreme action that you could take.
Which could potentially be a fair, route to go with the no contact and everything. But I think like sitting down and diving into it more, like
don't just believe what your other daughter said or don't just believe the scuttlebutt. Like hear it from the person first before you decide to just completely cut someone out.
Yeah. And again, like the sister deserves, some punishment,
but I would also say OP is not the a-hole, but they like generally just because they're trying to do right by the daughter that was hurt.
Totally.
But I do think that there's just a better way to go about not being the a-hole.
OP is Darth Vader. In her pursuit of trying to do good, she just went a little too far into the dark side. A little bit too far.
I got a question for you guys.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Have you ever had any family drama to where like you didn't have a family member like show up for Thanksgiving or Christmas because
literally
of it?
Just recently.
Really?
Like this, yeah. Yeah, like it was and it was the dumbest reason. So like I took one of my cousins to YouTube prom. All right, let me okay, story time.
Okay, story time.
Okay, story time. I'll leave it for the end. So, juicy update. You ready?
Let's do it.
Hello all. My Christmas gathering was yesterday and my son and husband wondered if I would post an update for y'all. It's been rather uneventful, but I've been equally surrounded by warmth and love while also feeling heartbroken and lonely. So first of all, since my post, my husband has been teaching me to use Reddit. I've really enjoyed being in some craft communities. That is so cute.
I love that.
Adorable.
My daughter Penny has been staying with us. She works from home. My husband and eldest went to get some more of her stuff from the old house. Penny's mother-in-law Jane was there and was very helpful and sweet. She also brought some mint hot chocolate for our Penny and Christmas candles. I know they're her favorite. From what Penny has told me, Jane is having similar feelings to me. A lot of guilt over our children's decisions to hurt people we love. I think at this point, we have to accept that we did our best raising them, but they're adults now and we can't beat ourselves up.
100%. You can't stop your kids from going off and it's not your fault.
And so Jane is the mother-in-law of Penny.
Right.
So, and then OP is the mother of Penny.
Right.
So Penny and Jane are going to stay in touch. I think Jane truly does think of Penny as a daughter/friend. But not everything is sunshine and rainbows, John. Freaking dumb, beautiful bastard.
Oh, God.
You sexy reindeer.
I can't stop myself.
So let's go on to some more negative things. I wrote my letter to Sally during this time. I expressed that I was extremely disappointed and also disgusted. While I will continue to have a relationship with her, I think that's good.
Yes, they're very good. Great.
She won't be welcome to any family gatherings with Penny present unless Penny has met a point in her life where she feels comfortable.
Totally understandable.
Makes sense. I told her what some of you had said, that not taking a side would be a side, and that she had, for all intents and purposes, already uninvited herself when she was so cruel to her sister. Sally had apparently come up on Friday and knocked on the door. I was out shopping at the time, and my husband spoke to her. Apparently, Sally and Michael, my son-in-law, are going to continue their relationship. Which, all right, honestly, I'm kind of like if you're gonna f up your whole family, you better be sure, right? Like, you better be sure. So I'm almost glad that, like, in their eyes, it was worth it. You know, like
Yeah.
at least something came out of it where it's like going to stick
And, well,
in a weird way.
and like, I guess she was kind of already removed from all the family events, which makes sense. But my next thought after that's like, yes, and it makes the family dynamic harder and
To
awkward
repair.
to
Yeah.
repair.
No, that actually,
Yeah.
I didn't think about that. That is a good point.
Because
Like,
they'll be, what if they have children together?
what?
Is that a cousin brothers? Are we back to the cousin brother level of Reddit?
That level of Reddit is cursed. At least it's like cousin brother-in-law this time.
No.
But
God,
yeah.
Riley, this is your Christmas present to us? Come on, man.
But I do think that is a good point. Like, if they're going to continue this relationship, there's like no chance of them being integrated into the family again.
It's kind of over.
Unless Penny like somehow forgives them.
It's all on Penny.
It's all on Penny.
And if Penny it would probably take years to happen.
I think the only way I could see the family getting back together again is if Sally and the guy have kids together.
But what if they have kids and they never meet their grandparents because
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think like if they had kids, then I think OP would feel a need to give grandparents to What Riley?
The only that's probably going to happen. The only way for the kids not to think they're missing out is making them believe grandparents don't exist.
Your grandparents are dead.
Sweetie, your grandparents walked off the roof of a building because they were stupid. Okay.
That or like the concept of grandparents isn't a thing.
They're gonna go to school and be like, Bobby's got parents that are their parents, Mom.
Well, and then you're
not
just
gonna
like,
work.
well, you know about Santa? He's
Don't say.
also not real. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Santa's real.
You know what I said to my dad when he said Santa's not real?
What?
I was like,
Wait, your dad told you Santa's not real?
yeah.
What?
Should we save it for okay story time?
Okay, story time. I want that story. Who? What? What? John, you're 4 years old now.
Yes,
It's a tough, cold, hard place.
you're right. It's doggy dog, Daddy.
I will not support it in any way or form. She may be my daughter, but that man is not welcome. I'm supporting Penny through the divorce, and if Sally ever expects money for the wedding or a house, then she's a very naive girl. My husband sent her away, after which Sally said we'd have to get over it someday. Otherwise, the Christmas gathering was lovely. It was strange not getting drunk and playing board games due to COVID, but it was still a pleasant time. My hip hurts from cooking, but husband and Penny did the cleaning up, so who's the real winner now? I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thank you very much for the kind words when I last spoke. And John.
What?
So these updates, I want to know what you're thinking, but
Yeah.
before I let you tell me what you're thinking, these initial updates came from December 2020. We are
Okay.
now in October 30th, 2022, almost 2 years later.
No.
And it is a juicy update. But John, I want to hand you the tinfoil hat and I want you to conspiracy theorize what you think this juicy update is going to be.
Sam, I know, but I don't want to know. I know, but I don't want to know.
What do you think? What's your prediction?
These MFers are going to bang each other to the point of bearing a child, and they're going to take that child and they're going to deliver it into the earth like a Christmas present on Christmas Day. And then the OP is now going to be like, well, now I have, what choice do I have? I have an innocent grandbaby that I want to see, and I want to text my daughter that she's on, so what am I going to do? That's what's going to happen.
That's John's prediction. Let me know what your prediction is right now and let us see if you're right. So I hope this message finds you well. A lot has changed since we last spoke.
Oh, God. Give it to me.
So I'd like to up you because I am finding things a bit difficult right now. First of all, Penny is doing well. She met someone new about a year ago. They're incredibly supportive and sweet, and they make such an effort in getting to know me and my husband. Penny was still living with me when she started seeing them, so I got to watch their relationship develop. I mean, how much did you watch?
Oh, God.
Although
Hey,
Penny
Mama.
is a grown woman, I couldn't help
Oh, God.
but be reminded of when she was a child and having crushes.
Okay.
It was very endearing, and I'm glad I got to witness firsthand the smile her new partner gives her. Penny also got a new job and has moved to Ireland with her partner.
Whoa.
Dang, I don't know where. I mean, maybe they're in Scotland or something, or in the UK.
True, but like,
But Ireland's possibly far.
possibly far and still a pretty big move either way.
Yeah. Sally and Michael have continued their relationship. I don't have a lot of love to give Michael. I am civil enough, but frankly, it is difficult for me to become invested in the relationship at all.
Right.
Michael recently asked my permission to marry Sally, which was disrespectful to say the least.
Oh, God. What?
You only get one of those per family.
I'm low key like, why even try at this point? Like, just if you're gonna do it, just do it low key.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, that's what you did when you hooked up with my other daughter.
come on.
But like, is there anything to say about someone learning?
I mean, like,
I think like there is the argument there for like
I mean, he's getting better.
you're trying. You're like, you know what? I did the biggest F up of all time, but here's me at least trying to do something. I mean, that is one way to view it, but
Doing something.
doing something.
Penny still lived with me last Christmas, so again, they were not invited. I am not hosting this Christmas and am instead going to go visit my eldest son. He and his wife had a little boy at the beginning of this year. They've asked me to stay with them for a little while so I can help with the cooking and the cleaning as they have been struggling a bit. Finally, my husband passed away 9 months ago.
Oh,
He fell while on a walk and hit his head and was there for some hours before someone found him. It's been a difficult transition, to put it mildly. Being a little bit on the older side, I've lost a fair few people in my life, and while I did grieve, I always had the strength to continue. Losing my husband made me realize how much I relied on him, not just to take the bins out or pick me up from choir practice. They have such a cute old person life.
right. Oh my God.
Like, she crochets and shit.
she's from the South.
Oh, yeah, you think so?
Yeah, choir
I guess.
practice, come on.
But all the times I was angry, sad, and overwhelmed, and he was there for me. When other people pass away, at least you get moments of respite in the grief where you just sort of forget they've passed. With my husband, there are only reminders. Every time I wake up alone, when I now have to take the bins out, when I have to cook a meal just for one, there's not really a moment of peace in this grief, and I found it very difficult to deal with. It's his birthday at the end of November, and there was another moment of grief as I had to get rid of my notes for birthday gift ideas in my notebook for him. Everything has just been so painful to deal with, and I just cannot stop crying even after all this time. I just can't even stand to think of the good moments I shared with him because it just hurts too much. I know there's not a correct way to grieve or a time limit, but I just feel like I've got to get up and start looking after myself for everyone around me. I really want to thank any of you that read this. It's been incredible and helpful just to be able to share my feelings a little bit. I hope you all have been doing well. Kind regards, OP.
Wow. Okay. The OP is a tragically beautiful writer.
Tragically beautiful. I feel for you, OP. Dang,
Wow.
that's...
It's all the sister's fault.
Yeah, dude.
Think about it. The husband wouldn't have died and fell and knocked his head on the concrete if the sister would have just stayed.
Kept it
Loyal.
in her pants.
I honestly, like, most likely, yes. Like, no, like, I'm like, there's 1,000 of little things that like cause our lives to change. He probably would have walked a little bit earlier or later that day and
He
not
would have
have
adjusted his foot spacing just 1
He
inch.
wouldn't have been thinking about his family as like falling apart. Sally, you killed your father.
Damn, Sally.
Oh, maybe that's too harsh. But
Yeah, that is too harsh.
that's too harsh. But I mean, with Sally's. But what do you think about how OP has continued to handle this? So like, as of right now, it seems like OP doesn't want a relationship with Michael at all, right? Which understandable.
Yeah.
And also I think is not interested in seeing him change and potentially for the better, which is understandable too. So like, I would love to know what you guys think. Do you think OP holding steadfast, even in the case of this marriage, that they are kind of on the outside of the family looking in. Do you think that's a good decision? I would love to know your thoughts in the comments, but John, what do you think?
After just 2 years, the skepticism is still deserved.
Yeah.
And especially with Michael. But I think if she left like a little door open for improvement, that'd be good. But ultimately, the kicker is the damage can kind of never be repaired.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
So, question now for you.
Yes.
If you had 2 daughters of your own
God.
and you're in the situation of OP,
Yeah.
would you kind of cut one of those daughters off?
So we've had this scenario come up many times on the show where it's like, would you cut off your own child? I'm a big softie, in all honesty, and I feel like I would have a really, really hard time cutting out my own child from my life.
I think so too.
I would struggle with that tremendously.
I mean, I've heard of like parents being like, yeah, if my kid killed someone. I mean, like that happens all the time. Like kids kill people and then their parents are like still visiting them in jail because they still love them.
They still rock for them, dude.
They still rock, you know? So I think I would be in the same boat. But what would you do if your kid stole your other kid's significant other? What would you do?
What do you do?
Would you cut the cheater off? And also, if your kid killed your other kid,
God, all right, I might draw the line there. I might draw the line there.
I don't know what you think, but should we get into okay story time?
Let's do it.
John, do you want to tell me your tragic story about how your dad destroyed the magic of Christmas?
Maybe this is a glass shattering moment because I low-key just assumed everyone had this experience mostly. So when I was in 4th grade, my sister though was in 2nd grade, right? Or was I in 4th or 5th? Like something like that. Riley is
2 for
shocked.
1?
Riley is shocked.
At the same time?
Yes. So, guys, could you guys tell me if this is like not normal where it's like you reach a certain age? So anyway, so we're like driving in the car, right? And who knows how this got started, but I can also remember it like it's happening right now.
Because your whole world was shattered.
He was like, we had like big red, Ford Explorer driving around. And then he's like, yeah, you know how there's like different fun things that are like fun and like pretend. And it's like such a fun time. Well, Santa, it's a great thing. It like brings happiness and Christmas cheer to boys and girls over the world.
It's a fucking lie.
And I think I said to him, but I was like, but Dad, so I can't see Santa and he's not real and I can't see God. What about him?
There is no God.
Literally, I think I threw him for the craziest loop he just was not prepared for at all.
That's rough.
Yeah.
4th grade, I still believed in Santa, I think, in 4th grade.
I was still rocking. I had my best friend Joseph, who was literally putting reindeer food in a bowl in 6th grade. And I was like, homie.
Dude, my dad would eat the carrots and he would like jump on the roof and
jump on the roof.
Yeah, and like it was like, oh, that's Santa.
His
and then
big
he would
muscles.
ring the Santa bells. And my sister, I think she pretended that she believed until she was like 15. I think at least pretended. I don't know if she legitimately believed, but
right.
yeah, it pretended at least until she was like 15.
Wow.
Yeah. But I do have my own okay story time.
Okay, let's get into it.
So our mutual friend Jack Gordon, watches videos. He's great.
Oh, yes.
Invited me to this thing like YouTube prom where it was like you take a bunch of people. I am recently single and I guess not that recently anymore. Semi-recently single. And I was like supposed to take a date and my cousin was in town. She's from Arizona, so I took my cousin. And so I couldn't invite more people. But apparently it got through the family grapevine. We were that I intentionally excluded all my other cousins. I have like 50 cousins. And then we met up at a dinner that was supposed to be only like the main family, like
right.
the like all my aunts
cousins?
and uncles.
Yeah.
All my aunts and uncles, and me and my other cousin were there. And then one of my aunts was like, there's blackmail in the family. And she's texting my other cousin saying like, they're intentionally excluding you. You need to exclude them. And it caused this massive family drama to the point that we changed our Thanksgiving plans because that aunt was so mad.
What does your mom think about this?
She thinks it's BS, dude. She thinks it's a bunch of bullshit. Yeah, dude. So yeah, the drama is happening. The drama's there.
Gosh.
It was so dumb. But with that, Do you have a story for me, Johnny boy?
I do. Am I being disrespectful by telling my parents good luck with that when they tried to ground me? Might be. This comes from Aggravating Bat 314, who says, I live at home while going to university. I'm in my final year and I have a job lined up after I graduate. My parents have been charging me rent since I was 16 years old.
What?
I have a small company that makes me around $60K a year.
Nice.
And
Let's go, OP.
We don't know that OP is still 16, but that's impressive. I started in high school. Wow. It's one of the reasons I graduated early from high school and why I got attention from recruiters. My parents said that since I was earning adult money, I could take in adult responsibilities. I like that.
Fair.
I like that.
It's kind of fair.
Yeah.
I thought that was fair, so I paid for all my own stuff starting at age 16.
Wow.
Impressive.
Kind of badass.
Dude,
Yeah.
super badass.
Kind of badass.
You want to get my Camaro? Yeah, bought it.
Yeah.
This feels very John.
This is
Like,
that
I
was
could
a
totally see
Sam
John.
story. No, this
Yeah.
is John.
I will say, for a crazy quick story time for me, it was very crazy going to Silicon Valley at 17 and meeting other 17-year-olds who had raised $1 million from like billionaires, and that completely broke my brain in half.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
Wow.
crazy stuff.
Well, the guy that I was running with the other day, like sold his first company for 6 figures at 16
Insane.
or 17 or something.
Low,
like
mid,
that.
or high?
Probably low.
But
I
still.
imagine.
Bro.
Still.
Pretty freaking good.
Bro, if I had $10 at 16, I was like, let's
Woo,
go.
dude, rich. Oh man, not university. I got a scholarship, and the rent they charged me was minor at $300 a month. OP is winning. OP is winning. But I basically considered my room to be completely mine after that. I kept it tidy. I like it that way, but they had no say in when I cleaned it. So this is OP talking about his room at their house still. When I did my laundry, other than not to do it at a time when I would disturb the family, for example, at 3 a.m. I bought myself food and I ate what I wanted. They tried to say I was separating myself from the family, but I saw it more as having my own schedule. Riley likes that. Riley, care to explain?
I got money on my mind. That's just a little schedule. Like, I can't even be thinking about hanging out with you.
Yeah, dude, I
guys.
got fat stacks of here.
What were you doing at 16? Exactly. I got a schedule.
Dude, that's true.
Put it on my cal, dude.
Yeah, put it on my calendar.
Wait,
Send me a cal invite.
Speaking of cal invite, sorry, Sam. I have an okay story time about Sam and a calendar invite.
Ooh.
I'll make it quick. Okay. Sophia asked, "Hey Sam, when can we go on a hike?" He said, how does May 1st sound? It is currently May 18th. He told his sister.
No, it's April 18th.
It's April 18th. Okay, sorry. It's April 18th. He told his sister he could hang out with her until May 1st. Go on a hike.
For a morning hike. I have a thing every morning.
See? He has a schedule.
I have a
he doesn't have
schedule.
time for family.
What? I hang out with Sophia every day. We went
Not
to
on a hike.
We went to the beach yesterday. Or 2
That's
days
nice,
ago.
That's nice. But
Pretty
it was
good.
just hilarious. I was like, wow, he's probably going to say something in May. And he did.
May 1st,
To be
though.
fair, I said April 29th or May 1st.
Yes. 2 options, okay. Oh man.
Yeah, no, I do. I sent the girl that I'm seeing a calendar invite to hang out.
What'd you think of that?
Weird.
Hey, you know what? We're weird together, buddy.
Yeah, dude, it's great. It's
Yeah.
great. I don't have to keep track of anything.
It is a better way to live life.
Yeah.
I will agree to that. This year for spring break, I went to Mexico with my friends. Again, just balling. My parents were upset.
At 16.
At 16! My parents were upset because they were hosting.
Wait, is he actually still 16? He started his business at 16.
Oh, sorry. This year. We don't know how old OP is yet.
I'm going to say 17.
But this was, like he said, once I started in high school. I gather we're a few years out, probably, but we're not sure.
Probably sub 20.
Yeah, could totally be, yes. My parents were upset because they were hosting a big Easter family get-together. When I got back, they said I was behaving badly by not being around for a family gathering. I said it was my last spring break in university. There you go, senior in university. And that I was not responsible for their schedule. Damn. Dude, that's one way to say it. They said I was grounded, and I laughed, ha! And said, good luck with that. I went to my room and locked the door. They tried banging on it for my attention, but I am done. My grandfather came over to talk to me later. He is the one who helped me get my company started, and he is always there for me. He said that I was rude to my parents when they were trying to be there for me. I asked him how much rent he charged my mom when she lived at home. He said it was ridiculous to think that he would charge his kids rent. I told him that I had been paying rent for 4 years.
So he's been paying
$300
rent
a month.
Still
At
paying
16.
rent
Still though.
for $300 a month. So he's 20 now.
Yes. Or yeah, 2021, something like that.
I mean, all right. This is what I actually kind of agree with him a little bit. I don't think he's, I mean, maybe he's being a little bit the a-hole.
Yeah.
But if you're making that kind of money since 16, nobody can tell you nothing.
Yeah.
You know, like he's, he's like a little cocky, right? Which, you know, the error of youth. But
yes.
to be fair to him, he's making his own money. He is paying for rent in the house, and he is like has his own business, needs his own schedule. I think making adult money, having adult responsibilities, and having adult freedom is the third thing.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a tricky thing because it's like obviously you want to spend time with your family. This is I mean
He doesn't want to.
he doesn't want to.
He doesn't want to.
You're right. You're right.
I think he might be but adult freedom. He's an adult.
He might be but he's entitled to being a.
Yes. Every adult is entitled to be a. Yeah. Every adult. Yes. Yeah. Every adult is entitled to be a.
Sam's golden rule.
The second
Got him again.
The second the parents were like, you have to pay rent, I do think he earned adult freedom, so he doesn't have to do all
Agreed.
this stuff.
And also he's 20.
Yeah. Man. So he went into the house and I heard a fight. When he came out, he said that I needed to treat my parents with more respect, but since they are my landlords, they do not have a say over how I spend my time. That I think is a very fair statement.
You should
very
always treat people with respect.
100%.
But like he can be a dick if he wants to.
Yeah, they can't like force you to do something.
Yeah,
you are independent, and
being a dick is still a bad thing.
Yes, exactly. I'm avoiding my parents for now, and I'm renting on Airbnb right now until I graduate. Baller, dude, baller. I took everything that was important to me, and I left $600 for the last 2 months I had planned on being.
Wow.
Classy.
Just breaded. They keep calling me, but I am currently getting ready to move for my new job. I don't have the energy to deal with them. Hung White Boy 25 says, wow.
Yeah, I wrote that.
Yeah. Wow, I gotta love that. There's only one thing, only one line there. Riley's only 23. Yeah. So they tried to ground a grown adult who pays their own bills and works full time. Yeah, you're not the a-hole by a long shot. Why don't you just moved out? Legit, don't see a reason for you to be there. And then OP says rent was cheap.
Bro, frugal.
So,
baller.
ladies and gentlemen,
I agree with that comment.
What about this comment right here? I don't have the energy to deal with them.
I mean,
that's
dude,
giving Young money right there.
yeah, he's a little brat. He's giving some brat vibes.
He is being disrespectful and not the kindest to his parents.
Yeah.
But he is right. You can't control me.
Also, I wonder just like from a practical parenting perspective, them being like, oh, you're grounded and like, oh, no, you can't do this. Like, is that really the way you're going to get your son like back on the right track? You know?
Bro sounds like he's on the right track though.
But no, financially, but I would, as a parent, I would be worried that like he kind of continues down this path and kind of becomes
an ass. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He definitely is like trending towards the Instagram Lamborghini assholeness.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. And like, I think I secretly do want my children to do what I did and like leave home early and do all that stuff. But I don't want them.
So John's just going to be like,
see ya. That's what Naima thinks. She's like, they're getting no inheritance. They're getting kicked out at 16. They're not. But
I was fed by the streets when I was 16.
The streets provide.
I cook rats.
Yeah.
And top ramen.
Because I am one. Oh,
Year
man.
of the rat baby.
Yeah. But what should be the parenting move here?
Yeah, dude, it is tricky. I mean, like you can't say you're grounded.
Yeah.
I think you just I think the parenting move is to talk to OP as an adult.
Mm-hmm.
In the same way as if one of your adult friends or family members disrespected you, you'd be like, hey, I felt disrespected here. You are an adult now. You have adult responsibilities, but I want there to be respect in this relationship. Not necessarily just because we're your parents, but because we are, I think this is how you should treat all the people that are important to you and in your life. Because if you keep acting this way, you may be rich, but you're going to be really lonely, you know? And like,
Boom.
like if you want to have a full life, it's not just about money. It's about the relationships that you have with your family and your friends and your loved ones. And like, maybe you're not going to understand this lesson right now, and that's okay. But just know that when you are ready to have a respectful relationship with us, we're going to be here.
I think I've just developed an entirely new fear of not having because my fear is always like having a kid spoiled from like your money, but then raising a kid who's spoiled and an asshole from their own money.
It's kind of a dream, though.
Dude, new fear unlocked. Oh, God.
Well, because you're going to give them all the information they need to be like...
The dream scenarios, they become self-sufficient, right?
Yeah.
Like, or like they go after it and get it themselves.
Yeah.
The thing I learned from this was if I have a kid and they don't clean or want to do anything like that, I'll be like, all right, you can pay rent. And then you are free of not doing any of that stuff.
It's kind of sick.
I think I like that option.
I kind of like that.
Yeah.
If you're working doing other stuff.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Like you don't have to do chores if you're paying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When did you guys get your first?
14.
14 sawmill?
At the saw.
Yeah.
Well, 10 like doing like firewood.
Yeah, like little odd jobs. Like
Yeah.
I would go around. We had like a annual like big neighborhoods yard sale, and I would like go around with like coffee and donuts and stuff. But like actual job, I was 16, working as a day camp counselor.
Well, 16, 2 years earlier.
14. What?
Because we can't say I feel like I'll get them in trouble, but you're supposed to work there at 16.
No, it was okay. It was legal to work at 16. Yeah,
It's legal to work at 16.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. That's like the legal.
Before,
Before 16 is not legal.
so I worked at 16.
I think in Florida, I knew people legally working at Publix at 14 years old.
What?
Really?
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe in different states, I think the legal limit is lower.
I think Florida's is lower.
That's crazy.
Am I the a-hole for introducing my adopted daughter as my daughter?
Yes. No context.
And this comes from OK Fan 2004.
And it's not an okay fan. I was wondering. It's not.
Lies.
Maybe it is. I was married from 2000 to 2012. During that time, ex-wife and I had one son, 20. We divorced because she had 2 affairs. While we were in marriage counseling, trying to pick up the pieces from the first affair, she was very publicly exposed for having a second affair. So while in marriage counseling for the first one, publicly exposed for the second one with our child's teacher and her husband.
Oh, man.
So like both of them.
Both of them. Double whammy.
It ended badly. No crap. When the ex-wife started meeting the husband alone behind the wife/teacher's back, and the whole thing was a messy public spectacle, which ultimately ended with the teacher being fired and both marriages ending in divorce. We live in a smallish community, and it isn't often that a teacher gets fired mid-year, and certainly not under such interesting circumstances. So it was very much the subject of gossip for years, and it gives people an excellent reference point to remember when it happened. It was when little Timmy was in 4th grade.
Oh, yeah. I feel like that would rock.
Oh yeah.
Headline news.
Headline for years.
Yeah.
I can't imagine talking about an affair for years.
Remember when Miss Carolson was sleeping with that guy, but then the guy went behind the bleachers? Did it again?
Yep, that's what it sounds like. I guess only the 4th graders are gossiping.
Yeah, exactly.
After our divorce, I remarried in 2014 and adopted my wife's daughter, 14, who was born in 2010. When I introduce my daughter, I introduce her as my daughter. It isn't particularly a secret that she's adopted, but it's something that I don't feel I need to necessarily make people aware of anytime I introduce her. Well, my ex-wife sent me a text stating that she had something really important to talk to me about. So I called her thinking it was about our son. She says that I need to make sure that people know that my daughter daughter is adopted because several people have assumed that she's my biological daughter and therefore an affair child. OP's a fair child?
Yeah, I was a little confused by that.
What do you think about this whole idea that your adopted daughter should be introduced as, hey, this is my daughter. This is my adopted daughter.
Yeah, that
whack.
feels so demeaning to them.
I know. Yeah. This is my not real daughter.
And like
My fake daughter.
I mean, that does suck if people are like incorrectly assuming there's an affair, but also like, are you really going to like just basically crap on your kid every time you introduce them to someone?
Yeah. And also like I guess they're assuming stuff like this small towns can be gossipy, yappity. So I don't know. Do you think she's right? Like not right as in you should introduce your daughter as your adopted daughter, but do you think she's right in that people think that he had an affair baby?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I could definitely see that happening.
The yickety yaps, the yappity yicks.
They're just yapping. They're
They're just
telephone.
Yipping and yapping. Well, for some reason, it bothers her that people might think that I had an affair while we were married, even though it's pretty much common knowledge about her second affair. I told her, anyone who matters knows the situation, and I really don't care if people who don't know gossip about me. Is OP the talk of the town?
Dude.
I'm rather used to it by now. Rip. She said that I should think about her feelings. Really? OP should think about your feelings. Did you think about OP's feelings during the first affair? How about during the second affair when you were in marriage counseling for the first affair? How about when you were cheating on the two new people having their second affair with and then had a separate affair, leaving one person out of the second affair, so it's just you and that other person, and that person got mad, exposed the second affair, and then exposed it to your husband. How about that?
But what about me?
Get off your high horse.
My feelings.
You don't get to have feelings. So I told her that the feelings and self-image of my 14-year-old daughter matter way more than her feelings. And she's welcome to set the record straight with anyone she wants. But I'm not going to change the way I introduce my daughter, casual acquaintances, to tiptoe around her feelings, which I agree. I think that constantly pointing out that she's adopted would hurt my daughter, which we talked about.
Yes.
100%.
Yes.
And it's just not what I want to do. So after spending Mother's Day with his mom, my son called me and said that I'm the a-hole. So OP's son, that's like 20, said that I'm the a-hole for the way I handled things. And he thinks I should make a point to make it clear that my daughter is adopted. So there is no confusion out of respect for him and his mother. So am I the a-hole here?
That is so, because it makes it doubly worse if you have a biological child as well. Then it's like, oh, it's like favoritism essentially. So it's like, okay, this child,
Yeah, this is my child, but you're just my fake child.
You're just my,
You
yeah,
wouldn't
my
say that.
adopted child. So not the a-hole at all. OP has their priorities straight.
Yeah. Which I think is super, super important. And I can't imagine, like, if you adopt a kid, having to give context to everyone. Like, I can't imagine that is something that anyone who adopts does. But to parents who have adopted, do you introduce your kid in any different way than you would if your kid was biologically yours?
Or like, do you say, hey, this is my daughter, da, 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 and then do you maybe like tell the story of the adoption commonly? I'm curious.
I don't know. I'm never
curious.
adopted a child,
Yeah.
but I can't imagine that is normal, appropriate thing to do.
Yeah.
But I'm willing and ready to be proven wrong.
Let us know.
Let us know in the comments
Adopters.
below. Adopters.
Give us the scoop.
But John, I think I want you to adopt this next story and read it to me.
I will.
But just make sure that you label it as adopted.
I am not a deadbeat story reader.
No.
I am a beat story reader.
Yeah, he beats it.
That I do. On to the next story.
So, am I the a-hole for planning on destroying my fertilized embryos?
Oh, wow.
This comes from Mama Swirl. And they say, hey all, first time posting. I, 31 female, have PCOS and do not menstruate without being medicated. I guess that's a fertility issue.
It's like whatchamacallums in your uterus.
Cystic.
Oh,
cyst?
whatchamacallums.
Yeah. Whatchamacallums. Yeah, Sam got it. Sam knew what it was called.
Yeah, I had a friend that had that.
Yeah.
When my husband, 31 male, and I tried having a baby, we ended up going through IVF. We got 5 beautiful embryos, and out of that, we currently have 2 children, 3 male and less than 1 female.
Wow.
And 3 frozen embryos, hereby called the Frosties.
The Frosties.
Which is cute. This past year, my sister, 34 female, and her husband, 33 male, started trying for a family, and they ended up going through the process for IVF. We all assumed that she would have a similar journey to me, as she also had PCOS, although not as bad as mine. Unfortunately, it turns out my brother-in-law is shooting blanks. He went through a bunch of testing, which included extracting directly from the testes, similar to how they remove eggs from the ovaries during IVF. And he has a 0 sperm count.
Ouch.
Their only option is to use a sperm donor. 0 sperm count. That's no sperm.
No swimmers.
Upon discussing this with a friend of mine, they asked me if I would give my Frosties to my sister and her husband. And what do you think OP would say?
No.
I automatically said no. We are hoping to go for at least one more child, but if we have any Frosties left, we will be destroying them. Am I the a-hole for planning on destroying my Frosties and not even entertaining the thought of giving them to my sister? And there's a quick note before we go into the discussion.
Yeah.
Note, when we signed up for IVF, we had the options for remaining embryos: A, be destroyed; B, donated to science; C, donated to another person. An edit in my country, banks are a little harder to get access to than in the US. She has already been on the list for about 8 months. Donors are not paid in our country, therefore it is a much smaller pool, more donies than donors. So, is OP the a-hole for when her sister wanted her Frosties? She said no. And again, there's only like 2 Frosties left.
And did she say she was planning?
Oh, sorry. There's only 3 frozen embryos left. 3 Frosties.
Three frozen embryos left. And did she say that she both denied her sister and was planning on essentially destroying
anything left after getting the last kid?
The last kid that she just had.
Yeah.
So that is good context, because it's like, why would you why waste the embryos, right?
I'm curious, what is the reason for not giving them to my sister? Like, if Sophia was barren and I had eggs and I could give Sophia my eggs, I would probably give you my eggs, Fia.
Right? Yeah.
You're not even responding.
Sorry, I was finding
I'm trying to give you my eggs right now, and she's not giving me the time of day.
I was finding some relevant comments from OP, which
Cool.
you can look at if you'd like.
Oh, that's awesome. Yes, we would.
Right.
We can read them. We can read these relevant comments after this. But yeah, Sophia, if you were, I don't know, that wouldn't work. But if we were of the same gender and could give each other, we could swap. This is weird. Swap sperms and eggs.
Yeah, I don't know.
You wouldn't give me that?
Give it to you, but I don't know if I would want yours.
Why?
Wait, I'm confused.
If Sam was also a woman and could carry eggs.
Oh, okay.
But-
I see.
Obviously
okay.
we wouldn't want to have an inbred baby.
I don't want to do that.
But an IVF
In
inbred
fairness,
baby.
it was confusing. I had to go.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
Those
if
are
I was a
like-
woman,
Okay,
and
you
could
were a
gi-
woman.
if I was a woman and could give you my eggs,
And I didn't have any eggs.
and you didn't have any eggs, would you take my eggs?
Probably.
Why is there any hesitation? Because I don't understand the hesitation.
I don't think I have hesitation.
Okay, so you would take my eggs.
I guess so.
Would you give me your eggs? You have
Sure.
3 eggs left.
That
You
you're
would give
planning
me-
on not using.
Yeah,
Oh,
if
yeah,
not,
you could take them.
you would give me one?
Yeah, sure.
That's the thing where I'm so confused is I'm like, so what I could understand is OP being like, hey, listen, we went through all this stuff to try and have these kids, and we want to have the 3 just in case we want to have another one. And we know that, maybe it'll take 2 or 3 tries.
I totally get that.
Yeah.
That
totally
makes
get
total
that.
sense to me.
Right. But then,
Also,
yes.
what does the husband doing, like having blanks, have to do with the, because they're going to go to a sperm bank and then do it? Okay.
But no. I had that same question. Does she not have eggs though? That she could.
So basically what happened is, the situation is OP's sister has PCOS, right?
Yeah, both of them have it.
But more severe. And so it makes it
yes,
harder
yes,
to do
yes.
IVF, and the husband is shooting blanks. So they have to get their own and have to get a Frosty.
Right.
And I believe it might be a fertilized embryo. Is that true?
You fertilize the embryo, I believe, right?
3 frozen embryos. But
That you then fertilize?
I'm wondering, does it contain, because it sounds like
Maybe.
OP's sister's husband can't have kids. OP's sister can't have kids. And so do they want both the sperm and the embryo from OP and her husband?
Both. Yeah. Basically just having like their child.
No.
I don't know. Yeah. It's still kind of slightly confusing why, if they're going to like not use the embryos anyways, not just have.
Yeah, I don't think, it's your body.
Yeah. You can
At the end of the
ultimately
day,
do
it's
what
your
you want.
body.
I don't think OP owes.
You don't owe
if she
your.
doesn't want to do it. She doesn't want to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's your body. I would be curious what your reasons are.
Yeah.
But if it was me and I could give eggs to Sophia, I would.
Yeah, I guess it just depends on your relationship with your sibling.
Yeah, yeah. And
Which seems good. We don't have any indicators that it's bad.
Yeah. I would want.
That's the
I don't
reason.
think you're the a-hole, but I want to know what's the reason.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I'm just I want more information.
Yeah. But should we read some comments?
Yeah.
Do it.
Just on one relevant one.
So relevant comments. Cursed18 says, so your sister hasn't even asked for them. The idea was just floated by a friend? Oh, right.
Yeah, she hasn't asked.
Oh, then she's definitely not the a-hole.
Yeah.
Either way, you're not the a-hole. They're your embryos, unless your sister asks you herself, in which case you can, of course, say no. This isn't even a problem. And then OP responded, correct. She has not asked for them. Knowing my sister, she would never ask for them, but I do believe she would be annoyed that I didn't offer them to her. I don't think you're the a-hole, but if this was me, I would give my eggs. I would give my eggs to you, Sophia.
Thanks.
You're welcome. High quality eggs.
I think-
double A eggs.
I think I would too, because like
You give your eggs?
I do, yeah, and I do kind of get the sense of like maybe someone's like, hey, I don't want to be the burden. I don't want to ask. I don't want to have to. This is a big request and a big ask, but also like I would hope that my sister would do this at the same time. I can kind of see that. Like you're basically being as respectful as you possibly can, but like ultimately are like, man, I wish.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
You're not the a-hole, but you're probably not like being not doing the most.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You're not the angel for sure. You're
I
not
think
the
I get-
angel.
not
but
the
you're-
a-hole
but you're
and
not
not the angel.
Yeah, you're just a person.
Yeah, I don't think you necessarily have to be the. No.
You don't. No.
Yeah.
But I don't think you're an a-hole.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But would you give your eggs to your sister?
Or Sam.
If you
Or me.
were also the sister.
Yeah.
Yes.
Would you give your eggs? Let us know
Don't
in the
give your
comments.
eggs if you're different genders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. That wouldn't work out. But yeah, I would love to know what you guys think. Put your answers in the comments. And I would love to know your reasons, because I think that's just as important. Now, OP, if you're listening to this, you're a fan of the show, let us know what your reasons are.
Talk to us.
Yeah.
Let's chat in the comments.
Am I the a-hole for threatening to kick out my niece after she hacked my daughter's Roblox account?
How many Robux you got?
Does living with family members complicate things? I'm living with my sister right now, so I'm screwed.
Ouch.
This comes from Am I the A-hole Roblox hacker? And they say, my 38 female daughter, 13 female, has been playing this game called Roblox since lockdown
Familiar.
first started, as a way of playing with her friends virtually, as well as curing her boredom. She was obsessed with this Roblox game that's set in school because she missed her friends so much and allowed her to stay connected with them. So the game that she's playing is set in a school.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So
A lot
literally
of
they're
the
playing inside a school.
Yeah, a lot of the Roblox like things are adoption like place or high school, and you just role play.
They just build these
weird.
that's so funny.
Yeah, it's not weird, Sam.
Weird.
It's peak middle school, high school activities.
All right. Well, her interest in video games has developed into an interest in technology. She's by far the top of her IT class. At 13, there's an IT class, and has even started learning how to code in order to make her own game. That's sick.
Brilliant.
My sister, 34 female, and niece, 10 female, have recently had to move in with us after my sister discovered that her husband was having an affair. Separate Reddit
Sounds
story.
like, yeah, another story we got to read.
They're staying at my house for the time being while she saves up money for a place of her own. My niece and daughter usually get along, and they both bond over their interest in Roblox. Last week, my daughter was completely distraught and crying non-stop. She said that she saw her cousin playing on a Roblox game and realized her cousin's avatar had a lot more items
No.
than usual. Is there Roblox theft going on? She decided to join her only to realize that her account had been hacked and she'd lost nearly every item she had on her favorite Roblox game. She'd lost $800,000 of in-game currency.
But what's the inflation?
But that,
though?
but that's real money too. I mean,
much
not
is-
800,000.
How much is 800,000 Roblox?
Yeah.
Hold on, I
What's the
never
conversion?
bought any Roblox.
And nearly her entire inventory, which she claimed was worth over $5 million of the in-game currency.
Whoa.
She had spent the last 4 years saving up for those items, and everything was gone. Just like that. All right.
Okay, well, it says you can get 893 Robux for $1.
What? 893 Robux?
So it's like roughly 900 to 1. 900
Yes.
Robux to $1. So if you divide it by 900,
Yeah.
give you the
That's 800,000.
yeah.
Well, 5 million Robux. Let's see.
Dude,
How much USD is 5 million Robux? What?
what does it say?
As of June 2024, the exchange rate for Robux, the virtual currency for the game Roblox to USD, is generally fixed at 1 Robux being equivalent to 1.25 cents. To convert 5 million Robux to USD, it would mean that it would be worth 62,500 USD dollars.
So 99 cents buys 80 Robux. Someone
So that sounds like the
That sounds
1.25 cents.
close. I mean,
Yeah.
I imagine the Robux currency. So that $62,000.
I mean, dude, this might be like a Supreme Court case at this point.
That's a crap ton of money.
Wait.
Oh my God.
I'm getting 800. Wait.
It's 5 mil. It's not 5 million Robux. Yeah, but it's 5 million of in-game currency.
Which is Robux, right?
Which is like worth Robux. Like if she had to buy it all from scratch, it would cost 5 million
Stop
Robux.
telling me.
Anyway,
Bad cat.
so my daughter began accusing my niece of hacking her account. My niece denied it at first, but quickly broke under pressure and admitted everything.
Ooh.
The previous day, they had been playing the game together when I called them down to dinner. My niece has only been playing for a few months, and I suppose she'd be considered a noob. She begged my daughter to give her some of her items, and my daughter refused, saying that she should earn the items by herself. When my daughter came down, my niece decided to stay behind for a minute to transfer all of my daughter's items into her account.
Wait.
Wow. So basically, she transferred all of the items to her account.
So she logged into the daughter's account, and you can send things to other players, and so that's probably what she did.
OP's daughter.
So OP's niece
OP's
went
niece.
into OP's daughter's account and transferred the items.
So the niece is the nefarious one.
Yes.
And the IT genius. Aha.
Yeah. Gabe Elijah says it was 800K in gear and 5 mil in our inventory. But if you're converting like 5 million Robux to USD, it's worth $62,000.
That can't be right. That cannot be right.
5 million Robux to USD is 5 million or is $62,000.
If you guys have a different calculation and source for that, let us know in the chat, in the comments, because we're
That
trying.
cannot be right.
That's all we're seeing. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah, people are saying you can send items, so she might have been sent items as well, like from
Wait,
other
JC
people.
says, say for example, I want to buy 2,000 coins in game, and it costs 50 Robux for two. Oh.
Yeah.
So there's Robux
That's what I
and
was-
coins.
Yes, exactly.
Oh.
So it's
So I
like
think it
5
is
million.
still-
It's not 5 mil Robux, it's in-game currency.
So you kind of have to first convert to Robux and then convert to
Yes.
USD.
Yes.
And it's 2,000 coins
She lost
for 50
800K of the in-game currency, which not necessarily is Robux.
Yeah. And that's
Oh.
2,000 to 50, according to JC in the chat.
What is it? 50 Robux is 2,000
coins.
2,000 coins.
Yeah.
Oh.
What a matrix of.
I'll log back onto my Roblox that I haven't played in years and find this out.
So
Stay
wait,
to the end to see her.
Wait, yeah, so
her
yeah.
row bank.
50. So that means I think it's $1,500.
$1,500. Still pretty insane.
Yeah.
But that's more feasible.
I tried to mediate the situation, but my sister is refusing to cooperate. She told me that it's only a game. It's not like my daughter spent real money on it. I attempted to explain just how much this game means to my daughter, to which my sister said that my daughter should count herself lucky that her biggest problem is a bunch of pixels on a screen.
Maybe she didn't buy any Robux.
I don't know. But she said my daughter was a teenager now and was too old to be acting this mature over a game. How about your daughter who literally stole for a game? My niece refuses to give my daughter her stuff back and says it's unfair that my daughter gets to have everything she wants both in real life and online. I told my sister and niece that both of them were acting like ungrateful brats, considering how I was letting them stay in my home rent free. Today, I gave her an ultimatum. If my niece doesn't return everything she hacked from my daughter, they would both have 1 week to leave. I told her that I refused to let anyone disrespect my daughter under my roof. So, am I the a-hole? And there are some relevant comments and an update. But what do you think, John? Is OP the a-hole for kicking them out over some stolen Robux?
Also, Red Dragon Knight did comment about a guesstimation of around 400 USD, which maybe seems even
Still
closer.
crazy, but it's
still crazy because so it's like it could be like
62,000.
hundreds of dollars of stuff, whether it was like earned in game
Yeah.
or
And
like
hundreds of hours of time.
hundreds of hours of time. And the important thing is like, oh, pixels on a screen. It's important to her. Like it's like having like a teddy bear. You could be like, oh, it's just a bunch of cotton and stitches and fabric, but it's like, no, the teddy bear like symbolizes the experiences and memories and.
Or like
etc.
if you made like a Minecraft server and you spent just hours and hours and hours of it, and someone went in and like, I don't know,
Nuked it.
yeah.
The petty revenge would be to go into her like work and like delete some project that she's working on. Like, oh,
Yeah.
you just spent time on it. Like it's no big deal.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you didn't even spend money on it, but there's other things involved.
If you had a school project and you spent all this time on the school project and then someone just destroyed it, you would be pissed because you spent a lot of time on it.
And get ready for this.
I'm ready.
Because people can say, oh, well, the school project, that counts towards your school and like ultimately your career, blah, blah, blah. I'll have you know that Roblox YouTubers that is the most flourishing career there is.
Yeah. Roblox YouTubers go crazy.
So OP's daughter could have a future career that might have just been set back.
Yeah.
How about that? How about
I also
them
think
apples?
they're not being kicked out because the daughter stole Robux. Technically, it's more because the sister, OP's sister, isn't like raising her child and holding her child accountable.
Yes.
Mhm.
100%.
Amen.
I think, ultimately it is OP's house. And I think it's a very reasonable request to give back something she literally took. And the fact that her daughter isn't, like enforcing any rules or boundaries when something like this happens. What happens when the next thing happens or something worse happens?
Yeah.
So
Is this too far or not far enough or just right? You think it's too far? Would you do that if your niece stole a bunch of Roblox items from your daughter?
I think maybe first, if it gets far enough, like you ask all these times, maybe first you bluff and you're like, hey, I don't know. I honestly don't think I can keep having you living here.
Well,
Frickin' chat.
I think
not far enough.
I think it's not, again, it's not the Robux that was stolen. It's the sister being like, your daughter like shouldn't even be playing it, and it's just this blatant disrespect when they're actively living in their house. I think that's
100%. Like it's just like your home is like such a sacred space, and just like to have your sister come in, not respect it. You're doing her this huge favor of letting her live with you. Some people also might disagree, but like, you're lending her the space, you're paying for it, all these things.
Also, if she steals Robux, when will it end? What else will she steal?
Come on.
Can't trust this person in your
My
house.
characters, my power-ups, my
Fortnite skins, my
skins?
emotes.
My emotes?
Well, there
dude,
are emotes in Roblox.
not
that's
the emotes.
correct.
Dude,
Not
the
the emotes.
bad.
Not the
They've got
emotes.
those.
Bad.
Oh, charge them rent now.
Ooh.
Yeah. So it's like, hey, listen, you can say all this, but you got to pay this level of rent.
If you're not going to give my daughter $1,300 worth of Roblox inventory back, pay up.
If you don't respect me as a sister, you will respect me as a landlord.
Yeah. Boom! Mic drop. But we got some relevant comments. So Bamf1701 says, not the a-hole. I'm getting so tired of people telling other people that they are too old to love the things they love. Let people enjoy the things they want to and enjoy life. It doesn't matter if your daughter is too old for the game or if she didn't spend any real money on the items. What matters is that your niece stole from your daughter and your sister wants to give her no repercussions for this action. How much longer until your niece decides that it is not fair that your daughter has something else that she doesn't have and takes it from you, or that you have something that she doesn't and takes that? Theft is theft. Amen. Theft is theft. And if your sister doesn't put a stop to it now, it can start a slippery slope, especially since that your niece has seen that she has her mother's approval. Yes, your niece has been given a raw deal, but that is no excuse to steal, especially from someone who's not only had nothing to do with why she has this bad situation, but who was sharing her home, try to help her out. Both your niece and your sister has taken your hospitality and broken your trust. That's a fire comment, because it's like, really, OP is doing this out of the goodness of her heart. And imagine being such a crappy person that you'd look at someone who's giving you their home and say, like, yeah, I'm not going to abide by your rules. I'm going to let my daughter thieve.
Even just in your own selfish self-interest, be like, oh, let me not rock the boat so I can continue with this rent-free living situation. You're literally, that is how just terrible you are. You're like, I don't even care. I just want to hate. I just want to crap over you and your daughter.
So dumb. And then Tana Lilt says, not the a-hole. I'm so glad that you understand the value of time and effort your daughter's put in this collection and the value of that to her. Compare it to stealing a collection of crafted items someone had made offline that they felt was precious to them, that they spent time and effort putting together. If your sister can't respect your daughter's time and effort, then she can't leave your home. I actually feel like that's like the best comparison, where it's like, oh, like what if someone, spent one of our fans spent so much time on these figurines, and if someone stole it, I would behead them. So it's like, you don't want like that has value to me, and there are repercussions for messing with it.
Yeah, people, it's just an excuse to be able to disrespect. Yeah, that's all it is. If it was custom jewelry, shirts, clay, pots, cups,
if it was a physical item, like I feel like maybe it would make more sense. But yeah, some people are dumb, stupid. Then Listen to Learn says, your sister's child stole. She stole from her cousin, who treats her with grace and shares her game. She lies about it, and her mother tried to minimize her bad behavior and blame your daughter for having more and being too old for the game. Isn't lying and cheating why she's in your house with her child? Why is she teaching her daughter to behave like the father she left for lying and cheating?
Whoa.
If you said that would be...
That cuts pretty deep. Maybe too deep.
She needs to go back to her house and deal with her daughters and husband. You would not be the a-hole. And then Midnight Blue says, maybe it was the mother who cheated and she got thrown out. She's lying to have a place to stay.
Oh, conspiracy theory. Pretty plausible. If you ask
I could see that. Then Poor Pajamas says, not the a-hole at all. There's a reason why your daughter has everything she wants, because she works for it and earns it by being a good girl. She probably isn't handed things like her niece, and she probably also takes good care of her stuff, which I'm guessing the niece doesn't. And yes, that's entirely on your sister. I am so sorry. I know it can be so frustrating to lose everything on a game that you spent hours and hours that turn into years of saving and collecting and leveling up for and whatnot. It's not just a game. It's also a hobby, a coping mechanism, and you learn a lot too. It's a way to socialize with friends who can't go out a lot, or if you want to socialize and have too much anxiety doing so sometimes. Along with so many other great things these kinds of games can do for people. That game has helped my nephew in ways I can't even explain. Him and his siblings are absolutely obsessed, and I would never think they would do this to each other, because they realize how much time it really takes to get your character to where you want them to be at. He also has never had a great time making friends, and he actually made a ton on Roblox. One he even got to meet in real life, and now they are best friends. It's not just a game. It's a lifestyle. And your sister can sit on it and spin. I bet she'd be pissed if someone hacked her accounts for shows in Amazon and whatnot. It's honestly the same thing. Judgment, not the a-hole, and there is an update. But John, do those comments contextualize anything else?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it just really drives it home and illustrates exactly what we felt before, which is it is the daughter should not be allowed to be disrespected like that. The sister is not parenting her child, and they are not entitled to a space in their house, let alone to do this to OP's daughter.
Not entitled to space in their house or breath in their lungs.
Whoa.
Yeah. We're going that far.
You in chat?
Chat, I'm riding with
Locked
you.
in.
Death. But there is an update. So Thank you all for your advice. My sister and niece moved out last week. She's in the process of getting an apartment, and they're temporarily staying with a friend of my sister's for the time being. I warned her that if I contacted the developers, they would get her daughter banned. So either way, my niece wasn't keeping the stuff she stole, so she should try to minimize her losses. She claimed I had no proof her daughter hacked the account and refused to compromise. She said I was petty and childish for making them homeless over a kid's video game. And don't get me wrong, I feel bad, I really do. My sister and I never really got along as kids, so I was hoping at least our kids could have a good relationship with each other, but still, they were inevitably going to have to leave at some point, so I suppose it only sped up the process. Now that my niece is gone, my daughter seems a lot happier now. She told me she was perfectly fine, but I knew her well enough to know that she wasn't. Some very kind and generous people have offered to gift her some of their items to rebuild her account, to which I am extremely grateful. Shout out Reddit for coming together and giving back some stuff.
Hoorah.
But my daughter said she felt bad about taking stuff from other people. I'd already reported my niece's account, which seemed to have no effect. I'm not very tech savvy, but I considered contacting the Roblox developers to see if they could reverse the action. However, my daughter informed that doing so would only ban the account, losing all my daughter's items in the process. I would like to extend all my thanks to the commenter that suggested I try to log into my niece's account. Believe it or not, it only took 5 attempts. Turns out that 10-year-olds don't have the best comprehension of internet security.
Let's go. Hack them back.
Surprisingly, getting into the account was the easy part. I spent an embarrassingly long amount of time looking up how to trade everything back. I swear I'm getting old. I couldn't tell which items were my daughter's and which were actually my niece's, so I simply transferred everything my niece had to be safe. When she came back from school today, I told my daughter I had a fun surprise waiting for her. Words can't describe how proud of myself I felt when I saw the joy rush back to her face. The ironic part is, my niece had previously won this very rare Halo item from this sort of lottery system, which my daughter claims is one of the most expensive items in the game. Now it was transferred to my daughter's account, meaning that my daughter walked out of the situation richer than she was to start with. My sister just messaged me in all caps, yelling at me that my niece has been through so much and I was just kicking her out when she was down. She accused me of stealing from a little girl. I simply told her, in her words, it's just a bunch of pixels on a screen. Thank you to everyone for your support.
Ice cold. Ice cold.
All right, I have a question for you, chat, and
talk
John.
about it. Talk about it.
Is taking everything from the niece's account righteous revenge? So is it fine, too far, or not far enough?
Here's what I would do. I think it is too far, to answer your question exactly, and I think I would try to do what we did earlier and guesstimate the value of the stuff that was transferred, which the daughter could probably help like come up with a figure at that, and send an amount a little over that back to her, or maybe have the daughter buy those items and then transfer them back, or
Why don't you just
along those
transfer
lines.
everything that wasn't hers?
That seems possible, and maybe even like maybe the daughter isn't like 100% sure, like when it's all mixed together. So do your best guess and maybe send just a little over just to make sure that it's like even, and be like, listen, I'll be the bigger person here and get everything back, but it was not right. That is my only thing here. But the bar at the end, what's the big deal? It's just a bunch of pixels. Ugh.
I think actually logistically,
Yes.
OP should not take everything from the account, because then what if the niece goes back and tries to ban the account?
Oh,
Like the daughter's account.
But I don't think you could do that. Like I don't think the Roblox courts would hold that up.
Dude, do they have a court in the little like Roblox thing where you have like the little Lego people just like boom, boom, boom? That would be great. Also, I won't dive into this too deep because it's a side tangent, but it's kind of cool now that like the generation of like new young parents understands that these games are important, because like they also have like had video, like this mom is probably in her like 30s or 40s, and like probably
they understand the importance of the virtual world.
Yes.
But what will be the next things that like we don't understand about the kids?
I don't know. I feel like while like we're not versed in Roblox, but we're like, oh, Totally
we get it. Oh, dude, I remember one of the tragedies of early childhood was losing all of my armor in RuneScape.
Exactly.
I cried.
Exactly.
I cried.
Like,
it sucked.
Now you get it. So that's kind of cool. But
I lost the password to my first Webkins account. That was
dude, me and I played Webkins too.
Yeah.
Also, can we see Sophia's Roblox account?
right now.
Yeah.
Oh.
Reveal.
I don't know if it's still
it?
like active, but I'll try.
But shall we jump into this next story?
Let's do it. That's right.
It still exists.
Show us.
God.
What?
Oh my God.
Can we get
I'm
it?
just looking at my account.
Show us.
Are you
Show us.
rich?
Here, wait.
Oh,
This
I
means
remember
nothing.
Sophia playing.
I don't understand.
Yeah, are you rich?
I don't think I have any money.
How many Roblox do you have?
0.
You're poor.
I'm real poor. I never bought or like used it. I would just play free games. Oh wait, here's my character.
Can people send guys donate Robux?
I,
Donate
free you
Robux to Sophia.
So she's not poor anymore. She'll be
There's my
rich.
let me see if it tells me what games I was playing. Oh, here are the last
Tell
games
us.
that I played.
Okay.
So
So do you have in-game currency for each game?
No.
Like different games?
No. So okay. From what I recall of the games that I played, there was Robux, which you could use for, like, it was applicable to all the games, and you could just like use it to get power-ups or things in game.
But now
so-
it's changed.
I don't know. My understanding of Roblox is that you bought Robux
That's what I
and then
thought,
applied it to different.
My understanding is you're broke.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm really.
Don't talk
yeah.
to me. You're too
But
broke.
I really love to play a Flood Escape. That was my go-to. It was so much
No
fun.
free sponsors.
Oh,
Oops.
I don't think it's a sponsor. I don't think I can sponsor that game. It's like
can.
Yes, you just
You
did.
just did.
But then you're sponsoring Roblox.
Well, the story is.
You just told
Yeah.
people to send me money.
We did do that. But we also have another story.
Let's do it. I didn't accept my daughter when she came out to me. Now she won't speak to me. What do I do? This comes from No Sugar 754.
In June,
And they say, will my daughter ever forgive me? My adult daughter, 24, will not talk to me. I recognize my part in it and I understand her initial pain, but when I go out of the way to apologize and try to heal with her, she still perpetuates publicly that I am some sort of monster that has disowned her. I just don't think there's anything I can do now. It's in her court now. I was not accepting when my daughter came out as a lesbian. I'm a lifelong Catholic. I told her I will always love her, but I don't agree with her choice. I believe you can love people without agreeing with every part of them. For a while, our relationship was rocky until she started dating a girl, and I asked her to keep her relationship separate from our family. Ooh, not good.
not good.
And now I realize how wrong that is. She has not spoken to me since. I've reached out multiple times to tell her I'm sorry. She missed the death and the funeral of my grandmother, who had a huge upbringing in her life because she refuses to talk to me. I've offered to go to therapy with her. She refuses. She no longer even talks to her sisters because of their proximity to me and says they enabled me to be hateful and abusive because they won't stop talking to me. Well, she got married last week.
Oh, wow.
None of her family was there. My friend sent a screenshot of a post she made about how she didn't have a supportive mother to help her plan her wedding or pick out her dress. And honestly, it made me so angry. I wanted nothing more but to be there. I understand the hurt I caused, but I believe this goes beyond me. I love my daughter so much, regardless of her life choices. She could be in prison and I would feel the same way because, you know, being a lesbian is the same as being a murderer.
Yup, basically the same.
And there are some relevant comments and another thick, juicy update. But what do you think about OP's question? Will my daughter ever forgive me?
Yeah, I think, one, I think mom could use some help from, perhaps, I know the mom said, like going to therapy together or whatever, right?
Yeah.
I think if the mom, maybe the mom already is doing this, going to therapy and trying to figure out how best to approach, ideally, a LGBTQ plus, like therapist or something like that to help her, or like someone who like specializes in that kind of work to help the mom kind of figure out how to approach the
Yeah.
daughter. You know what I mean?
Because I feel like even in this post, I'm getting like this undercurrent of wanting so bad to understand, but maybe not having put in all the effort needed
Yeah.
to understand. And I think when you don't have a good relationship with your daughter, you need to start putting in the educational rounds
Yes.
to get there.
She has taken this first step of like, okay, I want to repair, and I know that that's wrong, and I want to improve.
Yeah.
Great to recognize.
Which is what we want. We always
Which
want
is-
people to improve.
Which is what we want. And so now it's like, yeah, maybe, I don't know, talking with, and also I'd be very curious if anyone in the chat or anything has any stories, personal, otherwise, that would help illustrate that they've seen firsthand. But yeah, talking with someone, ideally like a therapist who can help walk her through and educate her on all the stuff. Cause even saying the thing, like, even if she was in prison, it's like, come on, bruh.
Which
Like-
is, I feel like that sentence is a sign of maybe an unreliable narrator.
What happened with prison?
Nothing happened with
There's
prison.
nothing.
She said she would accept her daughter even if she was in prison.
So,
She's equating gayness to.
Were you listening?
I just got here.
Oh, did you switch
Jesus.
out?
she
with
just got
Riley?
here 10 seconds
I was
ago.
in the bathroom.
So
Yeah, talk to a therapist that I think specializes.
yeah. So relevant comments. Commenter. I'm curious if you're still not supportive of her quote unquote choice. I myself am a lesbian, and I know I would act exactly like your daughter if my parents were like you. But I'm also aware that people can change and realize things later in life. She is deeply hurt that her parent, who was supposed to love her unconditionally, refused a major part of her. She is always going to be somehow hurt by it. But if you're accepting of her now, supportive of her, I honestly think with time, she can forgive you. You can only show your honest support for her and hope she lets you back in her life, which I think is true.
Yeah, it's like and I also loved that. That was kind of what I was asking earlier. Like, oh, it would be great to find someone in that scenario, which the commenter literally was, which is great, which is being fair. It's like, hey, she's trying to learn and understand, but also at the same time, I could see how frustrating it'd be. Like, I support your lifestyle,
Your choice to be a criminal.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, how frustrating and annoying is it from her daughter's perspective and more to deal with that?
But I think there is a big step in just trying to be understanding.
That's like, yeah, it's a huge first step to get on the path.
Yeah. I think OP's initial post shows that there's an effort put to change. And I believe that everyone can change if they really feel emotionally driven by it, which it seems like OP is. OP responds, I feel the same way as if she were to make any choice I don't agree with. I will love her unconditionally, even if I don't agree with it. I don't think that will change. Commenter responds, when you say you're sorry, what exactly are you sorry for? And what are you prepared to do differently now compared to how you behaved in the past? OP responds, I am sorry that she feels like I don't love or support her.
I mean, but she doesn't support her.
Yeah, she's like, even if I don't agree with it, I don't think that.
But
Just
that
like
phrase, even if I don't agree with it, I still support it.
Exactly.
Still,
yeah,
That's where I could see the daughter
Brutal.
being so frustrated every
Yeah.
time she tries to engage with this
it's
stuff.
like this is
Yeah.
my identity, and if you don't support it, it's an act of not loving. So
yeah. Like I love you, except the major part of your identity.
yeah,
But I think, yeah, it's like I see this person trying to change, but they're so enveloped in like their religious views that it's really hard, I think, to step outside.
Yeah.
But I do recognize they're trying, so I don't want to like spite someone for trying. You know?
For sure. Yeah. Again, like ideally OP could talk, like OP probably doesn't have anyone in their life naturally that could help them
Yeah.
walk them through. Like, what is the best way to maybe sending a message to the daughter possibly of like, I want to learn. It's not necessarily your job to educate me, but like, if you're open and willing, I want to hear from you everything I can do to be better.
And we actually have someone that we're going to call in later. Madolo actually had a good experience with something like this with coming out. So we'll chat on that in a little bit. But updates. I posted about a month ago about my relationship with my daughter. At the moment, she will not talk to me at all, and she has said she will never again. I admit my wrongdoings, but what else can I do? How do I tell my daughter she needs to stop posting about me online and perpetuating the idea that I disowned her, which is not what happened? I was not accepting when my daughter came out as gay, but since then, I have told her numerous times that I still love her, even if I don't agree with everything she does and have my own religious beliefs.
Always got to follow up with that.
It doesn't change the fact that I'm her mother. Even if she did something horrible and ended up in prison, I would still be there.
Well, yeah, she's saying this is something horrible.
Yeah. I feel like that's like not getting it, you know?
Yeah.
She has blocked me on everything, no longer talks to her sisters. She got married over the summer and did not invite anyone. I found out from a friend who is friends with her on Facebook. I wrote her a letter with a gift card as a wedding gift and sent it to her. Gave her $5 at Bed Bath & Beyond and said, hey, you want to forgive me for 20 years of not supporting or accepting you?
Here's some bath salts.
Here you go. Go crazy, kid. I offered to go to group therapy with her and learn how I can better support her. The next week, she called me for the first time in 2 years and told me to leave her alone and not to contact her again.
Yeah.
Which I've respected, but she's gone back to posting about how I disowned her and don't accept her or her marriage. How many posts can you make about that?
Probably a lot.
Like,
I mean, we were just talking the other day about how many times we want to post a day.
That's true. That's true.
Which is a lot. Up to 100.
Up to 100 posts
plus
a day. Is there anything I can do? Just accept it? It hurts enough to not have a relationship with her, but for her to continually say these things about me that are not true, I wanted to be at her wedding. I was not given the chance to be. And there is one more relevant comment before we go into the update. But what do we think about that update? Because we do have another couple more updates to go.
Yeah, it's tough. So now we're at the point where the daughter is saying, I don't want.
Basically, stop harassing me.
Basically, stop trying to reach out and contact me. And I think we've seen kind of similar scenarios of like people that are like, how do I get through to my adult children? And low key, it sucks, but you kind of have to sit, wait, and be ready and give them their space in many cases and stories that we've seen before, right?
That also fits for hunting advice. Sit, wait, and be ready. And give them space.
I wasn't ready for that. But yeah, I mean, do you think there's anything different other than that should be?
If I was giving OP advice, I would say go educate yourself first, because everything you say is going to actually just put a deeper wedge between you and your daughter. Because even in your posts, I'm seeing that you just have so much homophobia within your religious context that like, hey, like there are people that have that and people that live with that religious context, and that sucks for them. But like it's gonna be very hard for you to have a relationship with a gay person if you have that worldview. It's just gonna be really hard.
The next step is to truly learn. Like it sounds like you say you want to do. It seems like that is what OP actually does want.
Yeah, I think you know what. I think you should go find a gay therapist.
That's what I said earlier.
Gay therapist, specifically a gay therapist.
I said LGBTQ plus therapist.
Oh.
That's roll the tape back. That is literally exactly what I said at the very top of the story. I think if the mom going to therapy, ideally a LGBTQ plus like therapist or something like that.
And I agree.
Yes.
What, you gonna crucify me?
No, I'm just like,
John?
that's literally what I said.
Yes, as John said.
Yes.
In the words of John,
banter comprehension.
Get a therapist that is LGBTQIA2S.
She'll learn, I feel like.
Plus. I got all the letters, right?
Well, you added an S.
2S. You don't know about 2S? Get freaking with the program. Damn.
Wow.
You call yourself an ally?
Whoa.
Get wrecked, dude.
Two spirits, bro.
Oh yeah.
Heck
right,
yeah.
Correct. Yes.
Boom.
Good job.
That's right.
I didn't hear the 2. I just heard SS, and I was like, what?
Well, relevant comments. Commenter 1. But you don't really accept her. You love her even though you don't agree with everything she does. You judge her and you judge her life. Sometimes love isn't enough. Maybe she's just tired of constantly putting up with your judgment and comments. Then you equate her being gay to something extreme like her ending up in prison. I get that you are making it extreme to say how much you love her, but you're really saying her homosexuality is something within the same realm as that. Love isn't enough. Sounds like your daughter needs respect and acceptance. Actual acceptance, not just tolerating who she is. I give you a lot of props for willing to go to group therapy to understand her more, but clearly whatever happens before she hasn't gotten over or forgiven you yet, you don't get to demand forgiveness. And commenter 2 says, it sounds like she enjoys the attention she must be getting playing the victim. You did your part. You tried to make amends. So my advice to you is to concentrate on your daughters that want to be with you and don't lose them because of her.
Whoa, what a switch in the comments.
It's a weird comment.
Yeah, I didn't even realize that there was other daughters in the equation. Maybe that was mentioned somewhere in the comments. But yeah, I think, the mom. Yeah, what do you think about that?
It sounds like she enjoys the attention she must be getting playing the victim. I mean, I don't know if I necessarily agree with saying that.
Yeah.
But she is posting about it a lot. I don't know if I would.
All we know is she posts about it a lot. That's it. I feel like there could be specific things that were made.
Yeah, maybe
we don't
there's
really
other
know.
reasons that
Yeah.
she's posting about it. I don't know.
I do think even if there is some playing the victim role in it, I do get the sense that she is, while she is ignorant and continues to like make these comments that would be very hurtful and frustrating, I believe she's like trying to like figure out or understand it. She probably feels like she's exhausting all of her options of like, she probably doesn't have anyone in her life. She's like, what do I do now? Just kind of like throwing stuff at the wall almost.
I mean, honestly, if you go through a ton of trauma and you're trying to rally some support, maybe that's what she needs right now.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know. I feel like
it's hard to say with the
it feels
context
like
we
a
have.
little bit of, it feels a little harsh for what we know, because all we know is she's like made posts about it. But I don't know. I feel like
we would need more context.
we need more context.
Yeah.
But I don't even think it matters, honestly, at least for OP's perspective. I don't even know if I agree with a lot of this in here. I think like if I was just to give advice to OP, it's educate yourself to try to understand your daughter and give your daughter space, and then focus on the things that you can't change.
Yeah.
But there is 2 more updates. So, another update. Hi there, I'm a 57-year-old woman who has been a devout Catholic for my entire life. I was raised in the church, and so were my 3 daughters. None of them ended up particularly religious, but my oldest daughter came out as lesbian and is now married. We are estranged. It is my fault. I did not accept or affirm her, and I denied my wrongdoings for a long time and justified it by using Catholicism. In the past few months, I've been going to therapy, and I've been going through a crisis of faith and understand how I've hurt my daughter. I've left the church and now see how it ruined everything. I didn't see my daughter get married or graduate college because I chose my faith and the church over her. My priest told me I was making the right decision. Wow. Is it too late to fix it? She has blocked me on everything, lives 3 hours away, and is incredibly traumatized by how I treated her and refused to accept it. That's kind of growth.
It's a pretty big event.
That's kind of growth,
I would say.
And like, this is someone who has been raised their entire life in the Catholic Church. That is so much mental programming to overcome.
Yeah.
To get like we have to have perspective here of like how much it takes to get to this point. And I think honestly, yes, it might be too late, but I think a change like this is like kind of deserving of a good job. Like you really wrestled with this, and I think it sounds like she came out a little bit better.
That was really interesting too, that the priest said that she's making the right move, because it's like at the end of the day, like you lose your daughter over this,
that like this is why people go to the internet to ask these questions. They're not going to the internet to be called a terrible person and just get hate. They're going to the internet ideally to try to learn.
Yeah, some sort of guidance or thing that they have not seen or thought of yet.
Exactly. And that's what we're hoping to provide. But there is one final update.
Hope it's juicy.
So I have stage 4 pancreatic cancer.
Wow.
I was given a very grim prognosis, and the statistics paint a very bad picture. I know you're going to read my past posts and tell me how horrible I am and don't deserve my daughter's forgiveness. I'm not going to lie, my beliefs haven't changed, but I love my daughter. I'm terrified I'm going to die without hugging her or speaking to her one more time. I am a grandmother now, and I probably won't get to meet my grandson before I die. My daughter knows about my diagnosis. She's expressed she has no intentions of coming here or reconciling, and has told my sisters that she still doesn't want to talk to me. What can I do? Is there really no saving our relationship? Please help me. I'm not giving up my faith or changing my beliefs, but I will support and respect her family. Oh, so is that last post just a lie?
I don't know. Yeah, that does.
I think the last post was a lie.
I mean, is she saying like she left the church but still has her?
No, I think that was a lie. I think she's like, no, I'm not going to give my, or maybe she was wrestling with her faith and then she just chose,
kind of landed
she chose
back.
the faith. Yep,
Yeah.
growth gone.
Dude,
Dang, it sucks.
I mean, that is a insane scenario.
Or if she lied about that last one, is she lying about this to get a way to see her daughter? And
I mean, dude, if that's true, that is bananas. And because I mean, also like with these stories, we literally only have the POV of the person talking. So what if she did a lot more stuff like with the daughter, and that's what which would make sense. Like if she treated the daughter way worse than she actually let on, then it would make sense why the daughter. We've seen many scenarios where people go completely no contact with their parents because of all the horrendous things they do to them. So what if there was a bunch of horrendous stuff that we didn't? We don't know.
Again, I think we might be dealing with an unreliable narrator.
Yeah.
Because I think the last one may have been a little bit of BS potentially. If we are to believe it, what happened is she was wrestling with her faith and then decided, no, I want to keep with my faith.
Yeah.
Or like keep this belief that I don't think my daughter is doing good by her decisions or whatever. I'm like wondering, is the daughter the a-hole? And for a moment, let's assume that everything that OP has said is true. And it's like she was not accepting of her daughter's sexuality when she came out, made life difficult for her, but it wasn't like any like crazy abuse. It was just the classic religious family member not accepting the spectrum of sexuality, which is still terrible.
Yeah, 100%.
But
100%.
Is there any a-holery to that the daughter has?
So thinking through it, I mean, ultimately, it's kind of like we say with relationships, where sometimes it's like, oh, this couple has this like weird specific thing that they do, but as long as both people in the relationship are okay with that, then so be it. You know, like people who are in polyamorous relationships, people in monogamous relationships would never accept that, right?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, like OP's daughter is entitled to move how she wants, right? Maybe I'll say like and I can't really speak to this experience at all whatsoever, but here I go. I feel like I probably would have maybe sat down or heard her out more, which leads me to believe there's a lot
missing.
The unreliable narrator component, that there was more. Like I was also gonna say too, like I was like, oh, is OP gonna ask the question, should I reach out to my daughter like one last time? And I would have said, yeah, I think like if don't reach out if you have,
you're gonna die, so it's like might as well.
Yeah, no, I think I was gonna say like I think that's fair, like especially if we assume that like when she said like, hey, don't contact me again, if she hadn't talked to her and she just sent a message like, hey, I have this prognosis, I just wanted to tell you, I think that would have been okay. But
so do you think the daughter is the a-hole at all for anything?
Do you?
I'm not
passing the hot potato.
I'm not passing.
Yeah, I think there is some a-holery or in the a-hole spectrum, possibly. If we're taking OP completely at her word, it seems like there could have been maybe more of a chance to sit down. And it's also never someone's job. I believe it's never someone's job to educate. It is on them to go and do the education. However, it does massively help expedite and aid in the process of helping someone get there at the same time. It's two sides of the same coin. And I do believe that ultimately the goal is to like bring people from a place where they're like not accepting and spreading hate and other things, and then bringing them to a place where they're not doing that to hopefully avoid other people from receiving it. So yeah, I think like maybe could have sat down and heard her out a bit more, especially if we're taking up the word.
We don't know.
We don't really know
how deep the abuse goes.
Yeah.
And I also have to believe like if she's not willing to see her mother on her deathbed, it probably goes pretty deep.
That's what I just have to. I mean, we've had a lot of ICUs and conspiracy theories on the show that we are correct about. So, it seems like there's a lot more beneath the surface here.
Yeah, and her like really like I don't know if she necessarily owes her that. The daughter. I don't know that her daughter owes OP that. I think I'm not like LGBT, maybe a little bi, but like I'm not like I haven't had to like confront that with my parents ever.
Yeah.
And so
I haven't had to go through that experience essentially.
No, but like I imagine, but I also haven't had that kind of like abuse. I don't know. I don't think I would. I think maybe there's just so much trauma there that it can't be.
Exactly. Yeah, 100%.
But I mean, there were some comments in. There were some comments in the chat. Katie Lynn says, you don't deny your deathbed parent for nothing. Even going no contact with a parent is so hard because they're main support for most of your life before marrying to form new nuclear families. The blonde one says she doesn't, but at the same time, she's not innocent. She doesn't seem to be willing to compromise or even fix anything. And if she's not, stop posting about it and move on. Yeah, I do wonder about the posting. I feel like the constant posting. Yeah, I feel like the constant posting is like maybe not the best move. Gabe Elijah said, Sam, she left the church but maintained the core values and beliefs. She's still homophobic, which, yeah, she is. I think that's what we kind of ended at the end. She never gave up the church. She is still homophobic. Mm-hmm. And so like there is no character development really. So why would the daughter want to have any of that enter her life again?
Gabe Elijah says, as a queer person, we don't abandon our families easily. There is a reason. Yeah.
Sophia Abdullah says, we're only getting a snippet of the relationship and we don't know both sides, so I can't make an informed in judgment.
Yeah, so hard to say, truly.
It's hard. I mean, this is I think it's like, it's hard because we're getting the perspective of a narrator that we might not be able to trust and shows signs of being untrustworthy. Sophia, what do you think?
I agree kind of with everything that you guys are saying. I don't think we know enough of what the daughter, we only have what OP said the daughter did of like posting nonstop stuff. But I definitely agree with who said that about we don't give up. Gabe Elijah. Family is so incredibly important in almost, in most people's lives. It's the first relationship that you have. And I think to give it up, there's usually a reason.
Yeah. But maybe we do a little poll just to see what everyone thinks right now.
Yeah.
So maybe it's should the daughter meet?
Should daughter meet with mom?
Should daughter meet with mom? No? Start poll. Do it. Yeah, we're getting a lot of stuff in the comments here.
Yeah.
I had to cut. Gabe Elijah says I had to cut off my grandma for 3 years due to her behavior. Pinky DeSlayer says, I think she's more concerned with how she now appears on social media than her daughter. And that's why I think the daughter is doubling down on making no contact. It feels like OP is more upset over that. That's actually super interesting.
Really good point.
That's because the OP keeps focusing on the social media aspect.
And it's kind of like, I mean, I guess there was the wedding was this kind of like point in it, but where was this energy like before? You know what I mean? Like what was the spark for, it seems like you kind of leaned in a lot more, and maybe the spark was that you don't want to be seen. Yeah,
you don't want to be seen as someone who is terrible to their daughter.
Not
and so
actually
now it's changing. And your daughter knows this and is like, no, you have been so horrible to me. I'm going to expose how horrible you've been to the family. That's a really good point.
It's a super good point.
And it was focused on multiple times too. It was focused on multiple times. So I'm like, oh, that kind of sounds like it's legit. Okay, so on the poll, what do we got, Fia?
We've got
pretty split.
Should daughter meet OP? No, 58%. Yes, 41%.
And I mean, I feel like the comments were reflecting that, where it's like, oh man, this is hard.
It's hard. It's your deathbed.
It's a deathbed, and like how much did the mom do? We really don't know, but it really seems like there was a lot more under the surface than was let on. Like
everyone is like, grieves and processes information in their own way. My general philosophy though is forgive as much as possible.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's not possible, but like ideally forgive as much as possible, especially on a deathbed, because like I understand not wanting someone to be in your life if they can still actively hurt you, and that's like, you don't want to have that in your life. But if they're on their deathbed, it's like they can't hurt you anymore. So try to forgive them as much as you can.
This isn't a directly related to this experience, but I have had someone close to me lose a parent and tell me like, I wish that I had sat down and just like talked and tried to rectify more, because once you don't have that option anymore, then it's a very different world.
I think, and what I think like one of the universal things that I've heard just about death is that exact thing.
Right. Yeah.
I wish I could have forgiven more.
And that's not to say that OP's daughter should do that necessarily, but
I'm just like from our perspective, like if we we don't know OP's or the daughter's experience as deeply, but it's like general philosophy: try to forgive as much as you can.
Yeah,
it's not an easy thing to just like instantly decide without all the information. It's
100%.
really, it comes up to each person. But there is more. A commenter responds and says, I did not read your last post, but I am the gay child of a Christian parent who did re-engage after a stage 4 cancer prognosis.
wow.
I came home, cooked soup, listened to hours of sob stories about cancer changing him and how he was sorry and now we'd be different. I held his hand, prayed with him. He acted like a scared puppy half the time and he was grumpy and hard to be with. Obviously, he didn't feel good all through the cancer treatment. He magically and with good nutrition got better, and we had another year where he was and acted humbled. Then he came back to his beliefs and made more comments. He reverted in his beliefs and soon became snarky and opinionated with my children. We became estranged again. He's now a life and health coach with a testimonial about how he was so brave and motivated during his cancer treatment. He guides other people on living good, healthy lives that fight cancer. He is such a disgusting fraud, and it makes me sick. I wish I never went back when he had cancer. He didn't change. We haven't spoken in 4 years, and it's the most peaceful years of my life. I honestly wish I had left him, feeling guilty and sad, as you seem to now, instead of giving him my forgiveness during that time. Christians do not change. They abuse us with their judgment until they die. Leave your daughter alone. If you feel horrible during this time in your life, it's only a percentage of pain that you gave to your daughter who had to mourn you already, not because you've died, but because the hope of a good relationship with you has.
I'm not going to lie. I'm kind of speechless.
That is,
I don't even know.
whoa.
Yeah.
I mean,
That
that's
is
the exact position.
That is the insanely the exact same position. Went through the whole full cycle of that journey. Every once in a while you hear a story that rendered like, what's the real question? Who even knows anymore?
Yeah.
Renders you speechless.
Yeah. Super powerful. I mean, yeah. I mean, just like some people don't change.
This is true.
And it doesn't feel like OP has changed. I kind of said that.
Yeah. And that was the end of the story, right?
That's the end.
Yeah.
I still want to say like, life is better when you try to forgive, even in all cases.
I mean, the reason that commenter went back to their dad was because of the hope that their dad would change, and because they had a desire to have a relationship.
Yeah.
So I don't think hope is a bad thing.
Hope?
I don't think hope is a bad thing.
Yeah.
The hope to improve a relationship.
Yeah. I wonder how OP, or I wonder how that commenter would have felt if they didn't go. Like, would the guilt be worse?
Or would maybe not even the guilt per se, but the not knowing.
The not knowing. Yeah. Because at least with this, it's like,
there was a conclusive answer.
Yeah, I actually kind of think that comment shows that you should try to forgive and give people as many opportunities as you can. And in the wake of that, like, you found out that they were just the same horrible person that they were before, and now you know.
The thought process is like, you're able to find whatever the closure is. There is a certain closure of like, okay, I now know that going no contact is actually the right decision, and now I've lived these 4 years of no contact and it's been so much better, and I know I should not. But if I hadn't have done that, I wouldn't have had the closure.
Exactly.
Of knowing
Exactly. Like, that comment actually shows that you, in a weird way, like, yes, it turned out terribly. But I read that and I think, oh, that person went in, tried to forgive, didn't work. Now they can live in peace.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And I don't think they made a mistake. It was the dad's mistake, of course.
Yeah.
Like, the dad made a horrible mistake. Not a mistake. It was horrible. But I don't think the desire to believe the best in people is bad.
No.
Sometimes it hurts when they prove to you that they're not. They don't deserve that. But yeah.
Is the next one happy, Sophia?
I don't know.
Are we ready, ladies and gentlemen?
Yes, sir.
Let's do it. Am I the a-hole for telling my daughter she can't go to America?
America is the land of the free, home of the brave. Give us your huddled masses and your Reddit children.
And your daughter?
Yeah.
This comes from Mysterious Jumper 73, who says, my male 50, daughter, female 17, recently bought herself a plane ticket from the UK to Los Angeles.
Ooh.
She did not ask for permission and bought the tickets and is now stating that she's going whether I allow her to or not.
Can you at 17? Is that allowed?
I mean,
Guess so.
yeah, good question. Sophia, maybe let us know.
What?
Can you buy and fly yourself at 17?
I think you
Yeah,
can.
I
UK.
did. I flew alone at 16.
Without a whatchamacallit?
guardian.
Yeah, I went to Australia by myself at 16.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Proven. She bought the ticket a week ago and only tried talking to me about it 3 days ago. Classic teen behavior. She does not have a clear plan of whom she's staying with or what she's doing whilst she's there. She stated that her reasons for not asking me is because she'd already asked her mother. We are divorced and my daughter moved in with me 4 months ago. She thought that she did not have to get my permission as she thought her mother's was enough and that I scare her. While I'm open to the idea that I may scare her, I'm open
God.
to this concept that I might terrify her. I find it harder to believe that when she went ahead and bought these tickets regardless. She lied to me and I feel like I've been manipulated into this as her mother has said she can go despite neither of us giving her permission for her to buy tickets for 6 weeks time. My concerns are that she's 17 and never left the country on her own. She's never been to the States and she doesn't know what TSA can be like. I love how the dad's like, you don't know the horrors
TSA.
of TSA. Take your shoes off. Take your belt off. Computers out of the bag. She's previously struggled with major anxiety to the point where she's found it difficult to get to the underground in the UK. I'm guessing like the tube metro system is what he's talking about. We don't have family or friends out in LA that could get to her if she needed anyone, so there's no fallback plan and she's only 17. She doesn't have any world experience. I'm very reluctant to let her go due to poor decision making regarding the whole situation as it stands. All of my side of the family has said that it's a bad idea and that I shouldn't let her go, but my daughter has said she will hate me forever if I don't let her go, and her mother doesn't think it's a bad idea. So am I the a-hole? We have an edit and an update.
So the 17-year-old is going on a trip and the dad's like, she's never been anywhere.
Yes.
But she will continue to not be anywhere if you don't let her go anywhere.
This is true. Yeah, I'm like very pro.
You basically went to freaking Silicon Valley when you were 17.
Kind of did this a bit at 17.
I don't know if Amanda says, oh God, no, I wouldn't let my 17-year-old fly alone with no plan and no place to stay.
Yeah.
I don't know about the no plan
and no place to stay is kind of crazy.
Yeah, I would let I flew alone when I was 17 or 16, but I had a plan and a place to stay.
Yeah, which it seems like OP was saying there's no family, there's no like if anything goes wrong. And I think he did say that she doesn't have a place to stay.
Also, like
as of right now.
transportation, LA's difficult.
And Sophia, when you went to Australia, you were staying with family. So.
I was staying with family, family and friends. And I did have to I had to take the metros or like all that, all public transportation by myself. You know, I did a 3-hour, like 2 buses and a train into the city by myself. But I had I knew where I was going.
I think maybe this is what we do. Maybe the dad is like, hey, I just don't want you to going to LA alone.
Yeah.
Let's, we're not sure what the finances are, but hey, let's see. Can we move the ticket? I can go with you. I'll make sure you have a place to stay and all this stuff. And I'm gonna let you travel, explore, like do everything. We'll fly over together.
And LA is not the safest place.
Yeah, for a young 17-year-old woman, it could be overwhelming. One who's prone to anxiety as well. So yeah, I think that's the move here, and be like, hey, like why don't we just fly over together and then you literally free reign.
Yeah,
I'll be here if you ever need anything, but like go for. I feel like that's the move where she can still maintain full independence. Sophia Cologne says, OMG conspiracy, she's meeting a guy she met on the internet, which this does sound like some teen runaway Tumblr boyfriend behavior. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Not even gonna lie to you.
Because it's Pride Month, a girlfriend.
True, Dad. I don't want you up in my grill for this. What do you think, Sophia? Do you think that
I think
former teenage young woman?
Yeah, as a woman.
As a woman.
I don't know.
Speak for the women.
Speak
for
for
all
all
women.
women.
Well, I don't know if she's maybe. I don't know why she's going. I can't guess like you guys do.
All right. Well, let's see what actually happens.
Let's see. So, edit for those asking why I've ignored the whole daughter being scared of me. She tends to pick and choose when she wants to be scared of me. When it comes to asking for money or get a lift to party or work or to come get her before her phone dies late at night, she doesn't have an issue asking me for anything. I mean, I think it's like of things that she wants
Yeah.
that she may fear.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be reasonable here. She only becomes scared of me when she does something wrong and doesn't want to face the consequences and uses fear against me. So that way I can't instill any consequences. Also, her plans for accommodations is one of 2 friends, but she's unsure who and has never met them in real life. There are people she met online and video calls most nights to game with.
I feel like that's kind of scary to
Right?
I mean, like to a 17-year-old girl traveling
Yes.
across the world to meet online friends that she has no idea who they are.
I
I
mean,
would
as a
be too.
parent, I would be like, I need their
Yes.
name,
Yeah.
number. I
Yes.
need to meet them.
Yes.
I would
Same.
not. I actually would not allow that as
No.
a parent.
No.
I feel like I would still be like, hey, let me find a flight. Let's meet them on the call. Let's meet their parents. And then I will come with you to see them. But you're staying with me at our like
Yeah,
place.
yeah. I would not allow. That's not safe.
That's what I would do. But I have never met them before and therefore don't trust them.
Smart.
Fair enough, Daddy. And there's an update. Firstly, thank you to everyone who has offered advice and ideas on how to tackle this. My daughter and I have since sat down and tried to the best of our abilities to talk through this in a calm manner. She continued to demand that she was going to the States regardless of my blessing or not. The conversation became heated and she decided to bring her mother in for backup. However, she eventually decided to reveal that one of the friends that she could stay with is actually coming to the UK to visit within the month. She has said that she can give me all of her friends' parents' contact details. I am still undecided. My daughter deceived me through her actions, and while I'm going to do my best to not let that affect my decision towards this, it does need to be addressed so that way she doesn't think she can steamroll every time she makes a rash decision. My eldest daughter suggested that I genuinely consider all the options she has, but find consequences regarding the deceit more domestically, like grounding her for a few months. I have not decided whether she can go or not. However, I am willing to meet her friend who is coming to visit and have some very long discussions with parents. Thank you for all your advice. It's all been very helpful and made me feel less alone in my reaction to my daughter's decisions.
Yeah, I mean, your daughter is almost an adult. I think it is good to have experiences
Yeah.
of travel, so that generally is pretty good. But you want to make sure they're safe, and you want to suss out the people that they're going to be staying with, and the parents, and make sure they're good people.
Yeah, I think both of them are, and I think they are both self-aware to a degree and are kind of recognizing trying to work on it. But I feel like they're both being like the dad is like trying to keep himself from being petty. She's like, giving a little bit of crossed arm kind of vibes. Both of them are kind of mean mugging each other, being maybe a little petty, a little bit. So I think that like OP coming to the table and being like, listen, I want you to meet your friends. I want you to have independence and learn and grow and travel the world and experience and meet your friends. I just want to make sure you're safe. And also maybe the mom is a better person to talk to her about that, because she could be like, listen, when I was like young and like traveling around, like I was always like making sure I was looking out for my own safety as a woman, you know what I mean? Or somebody else, an aunt she trusts, I don't know.
That being said, I guess mom was 19 when she started traveling the world, right?
Yeah.
Which, a couple of years makes a big difference.
And also I feel like it's the attitude. Like, honestly, I think from the beginning of the story, OP was just like, I'm gonna go and I'm taking the flight and I don't care. And it's like she's in her kind of like, I'm gonna go anyways.
Like, I know everything.
Yes, she's not like thinking through all of the things, which I believe are absolutely genuine.
She's dumb and naive enough to not realize how much she doesn't know.
Exactly. So it's like, hey, let's get you out there and exploring and meeting these friends and whatnot, but just do it safely.
Yeah.
Really. That's
Which I
really
think
what
is
it is.
the responsible thing to do. But I would love to know what you guys think.
Am I the a-hole for believing my girlfriend over my daughter? You know what they say? I don't know.
What did they say?
I can't say it.
Say it.
No, I won't.
Okay.
Something before blood. Once you guys figure that out. But this is to answer the question, should the parent-child relationship be placed above all else? This is a great question. And this is going to come from girlfriend-daughter throwaway and a-hole wedding dad who says, I, 51 male, have been dating my girlfriend, Millie, for just over 6 months. There better not be a Bobby Brown at the end of that name. My wife died. My wife passed away 4 years ago, and this is my longest relationship since. However, my daughter, Bianca, 21 female, disapproves. She has had a lot of issues with me and Millie, hopefully not an age gap, but the main ones are the way that we met through a website and that I moved Millie into our house fairly quickly after 3 months. Quick rebuttal, Sophia.
I think it is not too soon after the parent passed away. I think that is an acceptable amount of time.
to
I
start
do
the
think it
relationship.
is too soon to move in relationship wise, though.
I think I would agree. In my defense, losing my wife much earlier than I had ever imagined really taught me to seize and enjoy each moment. And it just felt right to both of us to have Millie there with me permanently. 2 months ago, Bianca and Millie got into a dispute over our spare room, which Bianca uses as a music space, but Millie wanted to convert into a shooting space for social media, which is her job.
She had like a shooting range.
Yeah. She's just like blowing out the walls.
And she's like, we don't do music here.
I took Millie's side, my girlfriend, since she's going to be here longer term. So Bianca sped up her plans to move out to the next week and asked that I warn her if Millie's going to be present at any event or visit. Ooh. Honestly, think about it the other way. If Bianca was going to be moving out, like if she was moving out the next week, she'd be moving out pretty soon. Just give it to her for a bit, and then
Yeah.
Millie can have it for forever, maybe.
That's so true.
Right?
That's so true. Yeah.
Come on now. Last week, I thought it would be nice to treat Millie for her birthday, and she asked for a shopping trip and a dinner out, which I was happy to do. The issue is she specifically asked to go to a restaurant where Bianca works as a waitress, since it's known as one of the most exclusive and classy places in town. Oh my God, that's crazy. I knew Bianca was working that day, but figured it would be all right since it's a large restaurant and a special occasion.
This is for Millie's birthday.
Yeah, Millie's
so
birthday.
Millie, the girlfriend.
Yes.
Ooh.
It wants to eat at the restaurant Bianca works at. And
Ooh.
Bianca explicitly said, let me know if I'm coming over and like
Yeah.
Bianca's around, let me know. She
Yeah,
explicitly communicated that.
Presumably Millie knows that Bianca works there.
Almost certainly.
Almost certainly.
Diana says Millie is messy and Trisha says Millie is a snake.
Millie is a snake.
Honestly, yeah.
That's super. And also just the fact that the dad, as you said, after Bianca said explicitly, let me know.
Yeah.
And to bring her to Bianca's restaurant and not let her know.
Love Bubble says Millie is trying to get her fired. Dude, if that happens, that will be the biggest ICU of all time. When we arrived, we were given another server, so I thought everything was okay. About 15 minutes later, Bianca walked out from the kitchen and immediately saw us sitting there, then walked straight back without even saying hi. She kept passing the table and silently glaring daggers at Millie, which was just unnecessary when Millie tried to be polite. Millie then asked Bianca for the bill because she was the nearest waitress. And Bianca slapped it down the table wordlessly, then sent another waitress to see us out. That
so
was
messy.
I'm sorry, but that was intentionally petty.
That
you could
was.
just wait 5 minutes.
Yeah.
5 minutes.
There's no way that there weren't other waitresses around. She purposely waited until Bianca walked by.
Later, I called her and asked why she had behaved like a child.
This really
Dude.
grinds my gears.
Why did you behave like a child and not even communicate to your daughter
Yeah.
that you'd be at the restaurant when she communicated with you?
Yeah.
Bianca said that me and Millie had been deliberately flirting to upset her, which is untrue. The most that happened was a couple of kisses and a bit of footsie and giggling. Bianca also claims that when I briefly left to use the toilet, Millie called her over and told her not to contact me for the next few days, as we would be too busy engaging in private activities. There is literally nothing. It's clear. There is no like misinterpretation or anything.
Wait, I'm sorry. Millie went to Bianca and told her about their private activities.
So literally when OP, her father, goes to
Yeah.
the bathroom, right?
Yeah.
Millie takes the opportunity, pulls Bianca over and is like, don't contact him for the next few days because we're going to be having some adult activities together.
Oh, that's so icky.
That is, bless you.
So icky, it makes me sneeze.
That's right. She's allergic to
I'm
you,
allergic.
Millie. So Bianca said, I find it hard to believe Bianca, OP, because Millie has made an effort to bond with her through organizing girly activities, among other things, while Bianca has a history of manipulating others to get her way. Bianca then told me that she wants to go no contact with Millie or me apart from at family gatherings. My family is split over this issue, and my ex-wife's sister called to cuss me out for neglecting Bianca, who is still grieving her mother. Am I the a-hole? I understand that Bianca and Millie have their issues and Bianca misses her mother, but Bianca was at work and I think she should have been more professional. Wow. We have a follow-up with OP's daughter responding.
Wow.
as an update.
Oh boy, I love these.
This is these are
She's about
these
to
are
read him.
literally the best. But let's take a super quick stop here. I mean,
stop.
this is your daughter, dude.
Yeah.
I totally understand. And we have had stories before where the parent is like trying to like move on and like years later, and the kids are like, no, don't date anyone. How could you do this to mom? And it's like, ultimately that was their like life partner that they lost. And, you know, they should be able to have a relationship and find a life partner and move on eventually. But this is crazy.
This is crazy. It doesn't even seem like Bianca's doing that of like, oh, you can't date anyone, blah, blah, blah.
Not at all.
It seems like she just has a really fraught relationship with Millie because of Millie's behavior.
Yeah, I think it's really Millie's behavior. And maybe, you know what? Maybe I'll take OP at his word and say that maybe Bianca has had a history of like manipulating situations to get her way or whatever, which maybe that's true.
Maybe that's true.
Maybe that's true. But here's a question. Why is your first thought not, oh, I need to sit down with Millie and ask her this and confront her with this and not tell that to your daughter? Like,
be like, did you say this to my daughter? I just want to like, you know,
like
have a conversation.
Yeah. I think his first thing is to just jump to conclusion like, oh, Bianca's lying and she's like manipulating and like,
well, he's not even fact checking. Nothing.
Yeah, you don't even try to ask her. Like that doesn't make any sense to me.
The immediate assumption shows that he really cares more for Millie than his daughter.
Yes. And Denise asks, how old are they? So OP is 51-year-old male. His daughter's 21 female. I don't actually know that we know Millie's age.
We don't but yet. I am wondering if she's younger.
I think she, with the high irony,
close to 21.
Dude.
This is truly just a speculation, but
guys, you know what the best way to know is? By reading the next part. Opie's daughter posts the following. Hey, everyone. This is Bianca talking. After I saw the Twitter thread made with my dad's post and my roommate encouraged me to make an account to at least try to defend myself. I hope at least some of you hear me out, and thank you to the very kind Twitter peeps who are looking out for me. Appreciate you guys, and I am fine. What my dad says has grains of truth, but it is so far from the full story and is basically BS.
Liz Wentworth says, I bet Millie is 10 years older than Bianca. That's kind of where I was thinking. I was thinking like maybe 5 to 10, and that's why there is kind of that mean girl energy. Which I think that mean girl energy can still happen with a person who is in their 50s and a person who's younger.
Totally. My mom passed away when I was 17, and me and my dad were actually very close. He started dating again a couple of years after she died, which is fine, I think. And I was always very supportive until Millie came along. Regardless of what dad says, me and Millie had an emotional relationship lasting several months, which ended in a massive bust up and us losing contact. And he was aware of this when I told him I recognized her.
Oh, wait, someone said that. Someone said, I wonder if Millie and OP were friends before. Whoever said that, you're so smart.
Oh my God. Whoever said that, comment again, because we need to shout you the freak out.
Shout you out.
That's a Hall of Fame ICU right there.
Hall of Fame ICU.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Whoopsie.
Wow.
Yeah, and he was aware of this when I told him I recognized her. So he told her, she told him immediately, like, yo, this is who this is. We had a falling out. He brushed it aside and told me I would get used to it and we would be introduced gradually.
The way that Bianca is phrasing it sounds a little bit unclear. When she said emotional relationship, do you think that means just friendship or relationship?
Oh my God. I wasn't even thinking about a relationship.
Just because of the wording, it could be either.
I think it is like a emotional friendship.
Yeah.
But Sophia, you might be right.
Yeah. Also, Brittany Jones was the one who called it. Shout out you, Brittany Jones.
Brittany Jones in the chat. Yeah, high fives to Brittany Jones. Let's freaking go.
Yeah.
Oh.
And if it is the case, which it might not be,
yes,
that Bianca and Millie were in a relationship, I think honestly it could go, even if she was just a friend and they had a friend breakup.
Do you believe OP when she said that Millie came and like asked for the or said like you don't contact your dad for a few days, we're gonna have spicy sleep? I believe her.
I believe her. Yeah, I believe her.
Yeah,
I believe her.
Who knows, but I believe her as of right now. I was stupid and I believed his crap about them, gradually getting used to each other. He moved her into the house without asking me.
That's even worse.
While I was visiting my mom's family for the week. Gross. She did not try to bond with me. She used our shopping days and trips as an excuse to get money off of dad for herself. He cried and begged dad until he got rid of my music room and he fell for it. I asked them not to be intimate when I was around because I was uncomfortable. They ignored me. Oh my God. Wow. Whoopsie. Millie and dad have since tried to contact me regularly and have shown up in unexpected places. They showed up at my church. They have apparently visited my work and asked friends if I am there. They have even tried to messaging me to ask when I'm visiting mom's grave. They are despicable people who deserve to be cut off. I would love to hear dad's explanation of why I'm manipulative. Until then, thank you so much to everyone looking out for me again, and just don't believe any of the crap in this thread other than the crap about liking young women. That's probably true. Ooh. We still don't know her age, but the fact that she's Opie's friend means she's like way younger.
Yeah.
Way younger.
Really young. Unless OP is like Bianca's friends with old women or older women.
I mean, it's possible.
It's possible.
I have older friends.
I have older friends, yeah.
I have a friend that's 40.
I actually don't have a lot of. I don't think I have any. I think you and Sam are my oldest friends.
Ageist.
I'm sorry.
Ageism. Wow.
I'm sorry. I just got out of college. No one was out.
Congratulations. Congratulations, Sophia, for being ageist.
Unless you count my new improv friends.
I think that counts.
Okay. They range. I'm the youngest in my improv class.
New
Everyone
budding
else is
friendships.
Late 20s to early 50s.
There you go. I say that counts. OP is voted you're the a-hole.
I believe this might be the original OP.
The original
voted,
OP, so the dad. We think the dad is voted the a-hole. He posted the same text on r/relationship advice minus the paragraph asking if he was the a-hole, and they clowned just as hard since the posts are pretty much identical. I won't include the latter post. So yeah, it seems like everyone is voting dad the a-hole. Yeah. Diana says she lost her mom and now her dad too. This is traffic, and she said she had a close relationship.
Yeah, to her dad before?
Yeah, she said that she did. She actually did have a close relationship following the passing of the mom. Because they're both going through this grieving process together. It does make sense, honestly.
Yeah.
Oh, and but isn't Millie an influencer? I bet that's how Bianca met her. Dude, I literally forgot about that. She's like an influencer.
Ooh.
Dude, she is playing this dad. She's playing this dad, and honestly, I think you kind of said this earlier, but I think she could be fully getting back at Bianca.
Yeah.
And also just using the dad and just siphoning
probably
his
taking
resources.
Money.
We are going to read freaking more, and this next part is, am I the a-hole for bringing my fiance to my daughter's wedding?
Ooh.
That's the title of this update. I'm just going to read through this for context.
Okay, for clarity,
yes.
I believe this is the original OP again.
Yes, and we're back to the dad,
yes.
the original OP.
Yeah.
Editor/compiler's note, for some reason, OP gave everyone initials instead of names in this. For the sake of readability, I've given the previously named individuals their names back and given the daughter's wife the name Ifru, after a character of Star Wars. Is that it?
If the daughter is gay, then Bianca and Millie might have had a relationship. I might have been so right.
I am terrified. Also, Ifru, is that,
I have not seen Star Wars.
I, 52 male, have a daughter, Bianca, 23 female, who got married last week to her wife, Ifru, 24 female. They had been dating just under a year and decided to have an intimate wedding with me and about 20 other guests. So the dad was invited. That is an important thing to note. Bianca does not get along with my now fiance, girlfriend to fiance, Millie, 29 female. Bianca has no contact at all with Millie, refuses to come to our house, and has been quite low contact with me for the last year or so because of an argument she had with Millie. As expected, Bianca did not invite Millie to the wedding, but invited me as a guest. Totally fair.
Especially if they dated.
Dude.
Why would you invite your ex to your wedding?
Your ex and your dad's evil fiance. Oh my God. You're evil. Bro, your ex becomes your evil stepmom.
I think this is true because they said relationship. I think they were dating.
They said emotional relationship.
I think at least romantic.
You could
something.
be right. Yeah, maybe like an entanglement, friends with benefits. Something.
Something happened that was romantic.
Oh my goodness gracious. Millie said that she would not mind if I went without her, which I thought was very gracious in the face of rudeness. However, we recently found out that Millie is a few weeks pregnant with our first child. Oh, and she has been anxious and having panic attacks all the way through her pregnancy. The morning of the wedding, I found Millie crying on the sofa and literally shaking. I asked what was wrong, and she said she felt very panicky and unsafe alone. I offered to stay home since she was so ill, and I was worried about her, but she insisted that I go to the wedding. I was too concerned to go without her, so I messaged Ifru, informed her of the situation, and that Millie would be coming with me in case she had a medical emergency while I was away. Dude. Ifru did not respond until we were already dressed and halfway to the venue. Ifru told us that Millie was not to set foot at the wedding, but at that point I had no other option, and I wanted to be there for Bianca. It did not go well. Bianca did not speak to me the whole way through the wedding and kept giving ugly looks to Millie. At the reception, there wasn't a place set for Millie, and an extra chair had to be squeezed in. I cut some food off of my plate and fed her off my own plate, so I didn't think it was a big deal.
You were explicitly told not to
Dude,
bring
that's the issue.
Millie.
Ifru came to me after dinner, said that Bianca was not doing a
Yeah.
father-daughter dance with me, and gave me a list of complaints. She said she was disgusted by Millie's dress because it was red.
I don't know what website this is. It says, don't wear red to a wedding. Just don't. Okay, there's more to it, but really don't.
Chat's saying that too.
Now, red is inappropriate for a similar reason, but instead of competing, you were trying to outshine her. Red is a bright. No, I thought it was about like, there was like something about
meaning,
cheating
yeah, it's like-
or whatever.
Oh. Red
wearing-
means you slept with the groom.
Yeah.
Sleazy toves coming in clutch. Red means
so
you've
red means she slept with the bride, and if there was a relationship beforehand, that is messy.
Oh my God. So she was disgusted by Millie's dress because it was red. Opie put like a bunch of question marks, like doesn't understand. And that Millie was wrong to introduce herself as stepmother to Bianca. And that Millie should not have mentioned her pregnancy at all.
Oh!
Millie only mentioned her pregnancy because she was offered a little cake, and cake makes her sick because of the pregnancy hormones.
You know what you could say? Sorry, I don't want cake.
No thanks. I'm good. OP, get it through your fat freaking noggin. There are other options. Ifru told us to leave after dinner, and I agreed, so I did not upset Bianca. Finally. However, when Millie stood up, her stomach cramped and she fell over.
You liar! You liar!
It only made a tiny scene, but I rushed her out and we sat in another room for 20 minutes until she felt better. Ifru's mother came in at that point while I was calming Millie down and made us get out. Since then, Ifru and Millie's maternal family have been sending me angry messages about how quote unquote rude we were, and Ifru has told me they want no contact for the foreseeable future. I really meant well, and I just wanted to make everyone happy. But am I the a-hole?
Oh, obviously the a-hole. I'm sorry. Millie wasn't invited.
No.
Knew she didn't feel well, quote unquote.
Yes.
Came anyway.
What? Yeah, that's a great point. Why would Millie want to go into the wedding venue?
Yeah.
If
If
she's
you
not-
didn't feel well, why would you go?
If I was having panic attacks and stressing, like I would not want to
Wedding is
be
the last place I would go.
literally, I would maybe, you know what? I would want like a good friend to come over with like takeout and like watch some movies and hang out. Like that's what I would have probably suggested in OP, the dad's position.
No, I don't trust Millie at all.
Oh my gosh. The dad is so dumb.
I don't even think
You
he's
think
dumb. I think he's just like, I don't know. I guess he's dumb and awful.
Maybe he doesn't care.
Yeah, I feel like it's that.
There's like being
these
dumb.
places- yeah.
You don't care if you hurt someone, and then intentionally hurting someone. And like he's in the realm between is dumb and doesn't care. And I feel like Millie is absolutely in the realm of trying to intentionally.
This feels like he's dumb and also doesn't care about his daughter at all.
You thought that the dad couldn't keep going.
Couldn't dig a deeper hole.
Couldn't possibly. He's
Thought
already
he
dug.
hit bedrock.
He's already dug his grave 6 feet deep.
But he's in creative mode. He can get rid of bedrock.
But bro is not a quitter. Someone found a post that appears to be the same person. So I, 53 male, buried my long-term fiance, now wife, Millie, last week. We have a child together, 9 months, female, who I will call Penny, and I have an older daughter with my ex-wife, who I will call Bianca. Sophia.
Yeah.
He didn't say late wife. He said my ex-wife. That is a very, very important detail.
Very suspicious.
Millie and Bianca do not see eye to eye, and Bianca has been very low contact with me for the last few years as a result of disagreements between the two. They have stemmed From Millie moving into my house and taking over a room that Bianca used as a music studio, and Millie taking ill at Bianca's wedding, which Bianca perceived as Millie trying to steal the spotlight.
Perceived.
At the wedding she wasn't invited to, explicitly told her to come.
She wasn't invited.
Oh, you... Oh. So Bianca has only met her little sister 2 or 3 times and always insists on meeting her outside my house with my wife not present. After my ex-wife passed away, not late wife, I kept her wedding ring, engagement ring, and other bits of jewelry. Put an IC in the comments. I'm very afraid of what might happen. Bianca immediately inherited some of the jewelry, and I kept others, most important bits back, including the wedding and engagement rings, without telling Bianca. When Millie was pregnant with Penny, I revealed to Bianca that I had her mother's engagement ring
No.
and offered it to her if she would come to the baby shower and participate in our family. Oh, wait. Okay.
Okay,
So
I thought he was going to give it to Millie,
same.
but
But
he's bribing her with...
he's bribing her with it, which is, I will say, at least not as horrid as giving it to...
one step above, but we're still in the basement.
Honestly, yeah, one step above. We went from the basement to there's stairs to upstairs.
Yeah.
We went on one step.
We're
That's where
still
we're
in the
standing right
basement.
now. This story is giving me terminal illness right now. I revealed to Bianca I had her mother's engagement ring and offered it to her if she would come to the baby shower and she participate in our family. She turned me down, refused to come to the shower, and has never expressed any interest in her mother's other jewelry since, because she knows it's a bribe. I had not directly told Bianca I had her mother's wedding ring, but she also never asked. So I decided that since Bianca had decided to turn down the promise of the engagement ring, he wouldn't be too fussed about the other jewelry. My ex-wife, the deceased wife's wedding ring, was very beautiful with a very distinctive stone, and I like the symbolism of my former and future wives being connected. So I asked Millie whether she would like to use the ring.
No.
And what do we think Millie's going to say, ladies and gentlemen?
No.
She was absolutely delighted as she loves the ring and agreed. So I invited Bianca to my wedding, and she eventually agreed with the promise of not being in any family photos and not having to attend the reception. I thought this was a good compromise. That would allow us to rebuild the relationship slowly. There was an argument when Millie refused to invite Bianca's wife as the wedding is in a Catholic church. Maybe Millie never was in a romantic relationship with.
It could have been like a pining thing where Millie might have even let her on or something.
Yeah, or maybe Millie it's a like self-hate
Yeah.
homophobia
Also
where it's
could
like,
be that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of things. She could still be queer and then just be like, oh, well, it's in a Catholic church, so you can't come, and just using that as an excuse.
Right, yeah. But I calmed Bianca down. Millie was absolutely delighted that Bianca agreed to come, as she really wanted to start to build bridges and
Liar.
reconcile. No, she wanted to be close to her so she can stab her in the back.
Stab
again.
her in the back.
Bianca attended the wedding, and all went well until it came to the exchange of the rings. As the rings were presented, Bianca must have recognized and simply stood up and walked out of the church. You didn't tell her. You didn't tell her.
Oh my God.
Oh, she didn't ask. Are you kidding me, bro? We did not realize she had left until after the ceremony, and Millie was absolutely beside herself. It completely ruined the ceremony. She was wasted and cried the entire night. She became extremely depressed and does nothing but lie on the sofa. What did you
She sucks.
would you think that Bianca would react when she doesn't know that the ring was going to be given to you and sees the ring being given to you?
Yeah.
How do you think she would react?
Yeah, the fact that Millie's like, I don't know, making everything about herself and making her like, she is in this scenario, she is like the focus of the wedding, but to like make Bianca's feelings about herself,
To let that ruin the wedding night with what is supposed to be your partner for life.
yeah,
Of that one thing. Obviously, I understand, like, if someone walked out for an actually legitimate reason, yes, that is that would make one distraught for sure.
Well, but the thing is that it feels like Millie is trying to make Bianca look like the bad guy. Like
Yes.
she's playing up all of these emotions.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is Bianca's fault. Look at what Bianca did to Millie on her wedding day.
1,000%. 1,000%. I tried to contact Bianca that night and managed to get through to her wife. She called Millie a B-word and a manipulator who stole Bianca's heirloom. OP says, the dad says, that is not true. I have since been blocked by Bianca and her wife, and this has completely ruined the memory of our special day. I do plan to check on Bianca's well-being at some point. In the meantime, was I wrong? Of course, you're freaking wrong. Josephine said she's literally a Disney villain, like a Disney villain doing a like adult villain. Like if it was rated R, if those Disney films were rated R, give it to Bianca. Like how meaningful. She had to grieve the loss of her mother at pretty young. I'm sorry, but 21 is still pretty young to lose your mom.
Oh, absolutely.
And like that is a big process, and what a full circle moment to commemorate her passing than to have her daughter give the ring to the love of her life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That would have been beautiful.
And for him to say, oh, well, she said she didn't want it. No, she didn't want the strings attached with it.
Yes. She didn't want you to have any more control over her and be able to use it as leverage. She made it very I bet you she probably really wanted that ring.
Yeah.
But she was like, I do not want exactly what you said, the emotional strings attached. Oh, I'm sorry. The daughter was only 17 when her mom passed. Thank you, Hannah.
Yeah. She's 21.
She's 20.
She was 21.
Yeah, she's like 24 now.
Yeah, she's 23, 24.
Oh my God, dude. Oh, yeah. You are so like, and honestly, the dad went from being, we were like, okay, he's just like stupid and doesn't know what he's doing. He's an idiot, to you don't care. You're not being intentional or whatever. But now I think he's intentionally trying to hurt her and being sneaky about it. The next level above.
Yes.
So he's like, oh, I tried to give her the ring. I wanted her to have it. You know, I offered it to her if she would come to the bridal party and just, you know, be a part of the family. It's like, no, you were using that as a manipulation tactic. Yeah. You're the manipulator.
Yeah.
Bianca did zero manipulating.
Yeah. No, I was just gonna say, and also Sam likes to say, like, how do people write out this entire thing and then still think they're in the right?
Yes.
This is very true for this guy.
Insane. Write all this out, and bro has had multiple updates. He has seen the responses of people, and he still persists. And but Millie, I will say Millie is definitely the evil empress.
OP is I feel like he's the real villain of this story because he's tied to Bianca. Millie is so obviously the villain.
Yes.
She's like the a-hole. We know it. But the dad, because he has that relationship with Bianca, it hurts so much more.
Yeah, he's support. Like, this is your father who should be consoling you and helping you through this grieving process, which is lifelong for sure. And you know, your child had to go through the loss of their mother at 17 years old.
Yeah,
very hard thing to do. Mm-hmm. Very challenging. Bianca she said she didn't have a problem with him dating. It was literally only when Millie came in the picture.
And also she said you can date Millie, just like...
She did not want him to date her initially.
No,
Millie
yes.
But
then she was like, okay.
She did ultimately agree.
Yeah.
Yes. Wow, what a story. Great story find, Sophia.
Thanks.
There we have it. That concludes this story. But...
this ain't over.
Am I the a-hole for rejecting my daughter's gift because she hid her mother's affair? This is about to get complicated. And this is answering, should the parent-child relationship be placed above everything else? Let's make sure to answer that at the end of this episode. This comes from Far Appearances, who says, my ex-wife, 40 female, and I, 41 male, have been divorced for a year now because she had an affair. A good reason to get divorced. She herself confessed to her affair a year later and moved in with her affair partner.
Oof.
She herself confessed to her affair a year later and moved in with her affair partner, who she's now married to. I was pretty distraught with the whole thing. We also have a daughter, 17 female. My daughter knew about the affair, but she told me she hid it from me because she didn't want to break up the family. It really hurt me that she hid it from me for so long, but I moved on. My daughter still apologizes for it, but I told her that it is all right. My daughter gave me a Father's Day gift, which was a handwritten letter and a gift.
Okay.
That's cute.
That's cute.
That is cute. However, I was in no mood for a gift, so I told her to keep it for herself. Okay, buddy. Okay. My daughter seemed a bit shocked, and she went to her room, and I think she was crying when she went to her room. Was I the a-hole? Sophia, do you want to sing the answer in harmony with me? Oh, yes. Nice.
Beautiful.
That was giving like church hymn. So now getting into some relevant comments. Milk154 says, yes, in my opinion, that you're the a-hole. You say you told her it's all right. You say you moved on. How do your actions live up to your words? Great question. At least be honest with yourself and then to her. Either move on or don't, but don't say everything's all right and then not accept a gift from your daughter. Plus, maybe factor in she's a kid and in a tough spot between her parents when you make some of these evaluations. 1,000%. Gone to Flim Flon says very few adults would have courage to speak up in this scenario. Never mind a kid who probably didn't want to hurt her dad. She needs your grace, and you need to show her how a person can move forward when life is difficult. You're the a-hole. Honestly, commenters spitting facts today. Hot Mess Forever says, yes, sorry for what happened to you, but you're the a-hole. Can you imagine the position she was in? A child, your child. She was afraid her home would break. Her nightmares come true. And you did this? You told her it's okay, and then you crapped on her as if it was her fault. Shame on you. I get this is still raw for you, but what about her? Judgment, you are the a-hole. I can understand OP being maybe, I don't know if frustrated or upset is the right word, like not feeling good about the fact that she hid it because that, you know, prevented you from ending the relationship earlier.
Yeah.
But you need to give her grace because she's your child. She was scared. She didn't want to lose her parents.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think she was just scared, and you know, she's 17 years old. This is a very complex emotional thing to navigate for a 17-year-old.
Absolutely.
And like, you just need to give her some grace. And the fact that you didn't accept her Father's Day gift of a handwritten note is adorable, beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. That was not okay. I think you could sit her down and be like, it would have been nice to know earlier and hear from you, but I understand why you did it.
Yeah, I think that he's being a little bit harsh on, I think what you were saying, I might have misheard you, him reacting pretty harshly to a 17-year-old,
Yeah.
a teenager who is having to pick and choose between parents who are kind of putting her in the middle. And I feel like he is continuing this pattern of putting her in the middle of a situation that doesn't really involve her.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have an update one day later. So just wanted to provide a quick update. I did feel guilty after rejecting my daughter's gift yesterday, and after reading a few comments, it was confirmed that I was the a-hole. I went to her room yesterday and apologized for everything. It really hurt me that I made her cry that much. I told her that I didn't mean it, and we had a chat. I got the gift in the letter, and it was really sweet and heartfelt, and I thanked her. Oh, gonna bring me to tears. I felt really touched after reading it, and I will preserve it forever. There we go. For the rest of the day, I took her out on a shopping trip. And then in the evening, we went to the theaters to watch a movie. She seemed very happy. At night, we had one more serious chat where I told her it wasn't her fault at all. She says she still feels very guilty about hiding the whole affair from me because even though she hated her mom for the affair, she was worried about exposing the affair because of how the family would fall apart. I totally see where the daughter's coming from and her her conflicted nature. Like I would immediately forgive her. I told her that she shouldn't feel guilty about anything, and that's not her fault at all, and it's only her mom's fault. We then talked a bit about her mom, and she agreed that if there's one thing she's learned from the entire thing, it's not to emulate her mom when she is an adult. I agreed and also told her that it was unfortunate that she got such a mom. I told her we both need to go to individual therapy to deal with the divorce, great, and her mom's selfish actions, and my daughter was open to it, so we are going to start looking for a therapist soon. Bad mouthing the cheating ex, right? Now the daughter is 17. She is, you know, in the cusp of adulthood, and the fact that like she knows that she cheated and things like that. I think that she's definitely old enough to at least know the straightforward truth of what happened. But how do you feel about? I think he said it's unfortunate that you got a mom like the one you have. How do you feel about that, Sophia? Talk to me.
I think it is always a little bit risky to put down another parent in front of a child, especially one who's 17. That is still young. I think in this scenario, there are ways where he can still kind of validate her feelings and emotions without necessarily talking down. And John can't respond to that because he's helping Sam. Elias Magic says, I was the daughter when I was 16, 17. Don't sugarcoat it. Don't pretend the cheating parent is good and be honest with it. I think, that's true. I think honesty is just, especially because the daughter did bring it up. It's not like OP was like, your mom sucks and you should hate her. It was the daughter bringing up her emotions and feelings. So I think that, yeah. I think there's a way
To tell the daughter.
to validate the daughter's feelings without talking down.
100% agree.
Yeah.
I think I think you can
Without
validate her
sugarcoating,
feelings.
as Slyly Tove says. I think she's 17 years old. I think she's old enough to know the detail, like not the details, but to know stuff about
the
it.
straightforward details of
Yes.
she cheated.
Yeah.
That was wrong. That's why I'm, leaving the relationship. I don't
Yes.
think that's a
I don't think that's talking bad about her. I think
Yes.
that's saying this is what happened.
totally
You already know some of this because you were involved in keeping it secret, so you
Agreed.
already know.
agreed.
And you're valid in feeling whatever you want to feel. I'm not going to force a relationship with you and your mom. If you want it, I'm not going to be against it. But yeah, just like validating it. I think that's where I'm at.
I agree.
Sam's here and in a
I'm
new
here.
chair.
New chair, who dis?
Ooh.
I'm gonna have to zoom in.
We have literally so much to catch you up on. It's crazy. This has been a wild episode.
Yeah.
Of stories.
3 days later.
So we have an update. We heard from the dad. We heard from the daughter.
Okay.
We are now hearing from the evil stepmom, the woman who married the dad.
Oh my God.
And this,
It's about to blow your mind.
oh my
I'm about to
God.
get my socks blown off.
In another comment, he discloses that Millie is bi, and at one point, she and Bianca were in a relationship.
Which is what I said.
Dude.
Which is
Dude.
what I said.
Do you think that OP's friend, ex-lover, is doing all
Yes.
this to
That's
get
what I
revenge?
said.
Yes. Is doing it for
Yes.
revenge. Is siphoning him of his money. Is doing it to torture. Yes. To the degree of marrying and having a child with this guy. I mean, this is like top tier evil.
Low-key commitment to the bit, though.
Bro, ultimate commitment to the bit. My God. Who knows if the relationship had ended even before Millie hooked up with the dad and got pregnant. So they might have
they've
overlapped.
been cheating.
Maybe.
The
maybe.
dad might have.
The
Yeah.
commenter said, who knows?
Did the dad know that they were dating or no?
I don't believe until his daughter
Until-
Bianca said he started dating her,
Yes.
and then Bianca, his
Pointed
daughter,
it
was
out.
like, "Hey, I know this girl."
Yes.
And I think also someone in the chat, and I didn't see this comment, but someone in the chat said the dad didn't recognize their Bianca and Millie's relationship as like real.
But he still knew they were friends.
No.
Eventually.
Not until Bianca told him.
Yeah,
when
not
he started
until.
dating.
So he was dating her to some degree, and then once they finally met in person, Bianca was like, "Yo, this is her. I know her. This is my ex friend, ex lover, ex something."
All right, let's get into this
Okay,
Millie update.
let's do it. So, hi y'all. This one's been upsetting me for weeks. I have just gotten engaged to my partner, Sean, 51 male. Ooh, is that his real name? Who I love very, very much, and I've been living with for the past few months. I'm working on planning our wedding next summer. He has a daughter, Bianca, 21 female, my future stepdaughter, which, by the way, when Bianca's 21, Millie, the person writing this post, is 29. So she's 8 years
Younger.
older
Older.
than the daughter, but the dad is 51. So they're like, what?
Which is, it's a large
20
age gap.
Large 21,
Large
22-year age gap.
Okay.
Yes. He has one daughter, Bianca, 21 female, my future stepdaughter, with his wife who passed away 4 years ago and who absolutely hates me and has from the start because I met him online, and she is pretty conservative in my opinion. Shut up. Oh my God.
So we're getting this is a double feature. We're getting the other side now.
This is a triple feature, Sam. We got the
We got
dad,
3 sides.
Bianca, and Millie.
So this is Millie's side now.
Yes, dude. It is.
Wow.
I don't think we've had a triple feature ever in OK
Wow.
Storytime history. By the way, this is her saying pretty conservative, in my opinion, is so stupid because Millie, who's writing this post, would not allow Bianca or didn't want Bianca at her wedding because it was
didn't want her wife at the wedding.
So Bianca's 23, Millie's 29, Bianca's dad's 51.
Yes.
Okay.
At this point as they're writing, and it spans years though, the whole story. And when
It spans years.
yes, and when Millie was getting married, this was deeper into the years of that. She was like, "I don't want your daughter's wife at the wedding because it's a Catholic church."
I don't want your daughter's
Bianca, her
wife.
Yes.
Yes, because they were lesbian.
Oh.
She's like, you can't have your I want you, Bianca, I want my husband's daughter to be there, but you're not allowed to have your wife in here because it's a Catholic church. When they were in a bisexual relationship.
And this is Millie saying that.
Yes.
Yes, or they were in a relationship with each other, I should say, rather.
Wow.
A romantic
So
one. it
Millie
seems.
is like, oh, she's super conservative, yet she was banning her ex-lover from being at the wedding.
And she herself is bisexual. This is crazy. Anyways, more gaslighting. So, it's literally every layer is just pure insanity. So, me and her have really struggled to live in the same house. I wasn't trying to replace her mom. Yeah, you were just trying to ruin her life. But I did want to be friendly, so I asked her on days out and trips abroad with us, and asked if she wanted to work on decorating the house with me. I am very respectful of her mom at the time. I doubt that. While redecorating her house, I put up lots of photos of her, and I never tried to butt in when Sean and Bianca went to visit her mom's family or grave. Bianca, again, the daughter, had been planning to move out with a friend for months and was just starting to pack up her bedroom when 2 months ago, I asked Sean if we could turn our spare room, which she has been using as a music room, into an office/shooting space for my work, which involves social media, since I need the space for work and Bianca barely uses the room. Sean agreed, and Bianca kicked off at both of us, lashing out at me and breaking my camera. She moved out the next week and told Sean that she won't see me unless she's warned I'll be at an event in advance. You know, not a cool move breaking the camera and whatnot, but this event that just happened, that was the like what set everything off in the.
So this is like the catalyst event.
Yes, and I think we're about to have maybe.
So was this years ago?
Yeah, this was a few years ago. This is, we might be recanting the
Journey
whole from
saga.
her perspective.
Okay, so basically it starts with
This.
broke camera.
This is like, yeah, this is the catalyst that started the fire.
Is Millie admitting that she was in a relationship with
No.
Bianca?
She's
No.
not admitting that right now.
She's not admitting that
No.
right now.
No.
Okay, it's just like this crazy stepdaughter broke my camera.
She's mad because we met online. No, she's mad because you two were in a relationship and now you're dating her freaking father. That's why she's mad.
Right.
Yes.
Which we're unsure if Millie is admitting to this.
So far, she has omitted it.
Okay.
She has omitted. So it was my birthday recently, and I asked Sean to go to a specific restaurant, which was a bit fancy, and I'd heard was super tasty. We got there, and it turns out, yes, Sam,
Liar.
Bianca was working as a server there, which I did not know about. Liar. Bianca behaved like a baby, looking at me like she wanted to murk me, barging into our table, and when I asked her to stop for the bill, she slapped the table hard enough to make me jump. She later called Sean and made up lies about me being bishy and cruel remarks when Sean went to the toilet, and now refuses to contact either of us at all. That was the point in Bianca's POV where Millie said, don't contact your dad for a few days. We're going to be having spicy.
But Millie is not saying
Millie
that she
is
said
not.
that.
She's not. Once
Millie
again,
is
omitting.
omitting a lot of
Once
things.
again,
So-
omitting.
All right, I just dropped in. So far,
Yes.
from Millie's point of view, Bianca sounds like a terror.
Hearing.
If I like,
We
like
heard from both
literally
Bianca and her
only
dad. and-
only hearing from like I'm dropped into
Yes, yes.
into part 3. If I had just only heard this story and none of the context,
Yeah.
I would be like, oh my god, Bianca is mad that like a younger dating partner is getting with her dad or something.
But you know who we're dealing with here, Sam? Not a master manipulator, the empress of manipulation,
Yeah.
the empress of evil. This is from because we heard
Yeah.
the dad and Bianca's whole side of the story.
And do their stories line up?
The events line up, but
Yeah.
like, for instance, the dad was like, oh, I tried to offer her the ring. Yeah, he tried to bribe her with it to
Right.
get her to behave how he wanted. And then he turns right around and gives his late wife's ring
I'm
to
so
her.
interested to see what happens with Millie and the ring, because
Yes.
like, is it cool to give
I
your
think
dead's
no.
wife's ring to your new partner?
No.
Pass it down to the children.
Is that cute?
I feel like that's horrible.
Yeah, we already talked about
And
this.
we talked. Yeah, so,
all right.
we've already had all this kind of stuff,
Yeah.
but it's so great though. It's like adding a new layer. of
Wait,
perspective.
what did you guys decided?
No.
It's not cute.
Absolutely not.
No.
Yeah. What if it's
start-
like, I want my wife to live on through you?
That's what he said. He said that. He was like, I want to connect
I want
my
a
old
connection
wife. Yeah.
between my old wife and my
Yeah.
new wife.
So he can always have a threesome with his ghost wife present.
Basically, yes. Bianca does not know that we are engaged. They were engaged way earlier than we knew. She did know we were planning to try for a baby, but we honestly thought it would take far longer for us to get pregnant. I found out last week that I am 5 months pregnant and we are so happy.
5 months.
Five
Oh,
weeks.
sorry, 5 weeks. I apologize. I found out last week that I'm 5 weeks pregnant, and we are so happy. Thank you. The problem is Sean is talking about reaching out to Bianca again to see if she wants to be a part of our lives and the baby's life. He thinks that with some therapy, we can all live together and plan happy families. Live together? Absolutely not. I can't see that, and I don't want that to happen. I am scared that Bianca will visit and try to turn Sean against me and my baby, and that she will ruin my baby's childhood. She is violent and manipulative, and I'm honestly scared of her and don't want to be around her, especially while pregnant. I don't know what to do because I have tried to encourage Sean to cut contact completely with Bianca, but I think if I push too hard, he'll turn against me. She ended her story there. So there's a lot more that happens after that point in Bianca and the dad's storylines. Yeah, she has omitted a lot. Like even did the dad?
It's so short, I imagine, compared to the other sides, right?
Yes,
like
that's very
short.
short.
That was barely anything.
Yeah, Millie is omitting a lot her side.
Like, why doesn't Bianca just go no contact?
She did
basically. So basically, what she said was very early, like I think around the time of the incident where she like smashes her camera and she moves out or whatever. She's like, I want to go no contact except for like big family events, like a family reunion or like visiting the mom's grave together as like a whole family or something like that. Basically, the dad is trying to like restart the relationship with Bianca, which I think my guess is he selfishly wants to look good to the outside world.
So it's not actually because he's trying to repair the relationship. It's all just for image.
I believe, and I think that, again, going back to the incident where he offers the ring as like a token of a bribe. Like, hey, just come to the baby shower with us and the extended family and just like become family again in front of everyone, and I will give you the ring. She said no. He then turns around and gives the ring to Millie instead of,
Wow. Which feels like an FU.
Exactly. And he never acknowledges that, like, oh, this thing might have hurt her or whatever. I will say, like, one thing we heard from that story, she's like, Bianca smashed the camera, which could be true. Like, I could see that being true. But basically, over the story, turn after turn after turn, the dad and Millie stab Bianca in the back, basically. Every time in the grand scheme of things. So that doesn't like justify, Bianca smashing the camera.
I feel like they're all a little drama.
Beyond, I could see that. I could see that. And granted, it's a little unfair because you didn't get, we got literally the entire perspective from Bianca and the dad.
But even if it's even just the camera thing.
The camera thing is bad. Did
Bianca say that I smashed
Neither the
camera?
dad or Bianca said
Yeah, that's
that.
an important thing. The dad also didn't mention it, which that honestly, I feel like he would have mentioned that.
Yeah, I'm surprised that the dad didn't mention it.
And he mentioned many other things. His dad called Bianca, his daughter, a manipulator.
And yeah, so if he's looking for more stuff to show that she's a manipulator and crazy, why wouldn't he talk about the camera
smashing? She trashed the room.
smashing?
She broke the camera and all this stuff. And also, this is like a small thing, but Bianca was planning to move out in like it seems like 1 to 3 months. She ended up moving out the next week because she was upset. So it's like, and he didn't have to do this. This I think is less of a big thing. He could have given her the room for like 1 or 2 months to like, make some music, have fun, and then give it to this woman he wants to have a baby with and spend his life with for eternity afterwards. There's just, there was.
What a wild ride.
Dude, crazy. All three perspectives, absolutely nuts.
Bonkers.
Yeah, absolutely nuts. Let's wrap it up with finally, once and for all, answering the question of this episode, which is, should the parent-child relationship be placed above everything else?
I mean, in this case that I'm thrown in the deep end, I think he should have prioritized his daughter's relationship over the manipulator.
I generally think that you should do that because, like, people do have relationships and split, but like breaking
Child
up
relationship
it's very different. It's very different.
Yeah,
it's very different, and I feel like it's more your responsibility to care and guide your child through life than it is to guide your partner because you are presumably in equal stages in life, whereas you are guiding your child from the beginning. And you decided to have this child and decided to take that responsibility. So
like you are, as a parent, you are the foundation on which a child builds the rest of their life.
Yeah.
And so it's like you are so instrumental in showing what love looks like, what respect looks like. And if you erode those things, you kind of have a child that has this destabilized foundation.
Yes.
Which, you go through like years of therapy to maybe rebuild again. But I think that, I think it's way more important for a child to have that strong base than I think a romantic partner.
And because your romantic partner was presumably at a roughly equal, way more equal life stage.
Yeah, unless you're dating
Unless you're dating someone
29-year-old and you're 50.
Yeah, 51 to 3.
Which is, I once had a date within that age gap, and it was weird. It was weird. I think it's weird. I don't know how people do it.
Yeah. I mean, I will say like past 30, it does
Equalize a little bit.
equalize a little bit more.
Still, it's
But
just
still.
I don't know. It's just it feels like
But still.
it feels weird.
Yeah. But generally we agree. Sophia, would you say the same? Like generally that like child-parent relationship will generally kind of like take precedent over a romantic relationship?
Agree.
Yeah. There we go.
My family always left me out, so I finally confronted my parents about their blatant favoritism.
Confront them.
Front them. So I, 27-year-old male, am the third of 4 siblings and have always felt like an afterthought. Lori, we might need the whiteboard for this. Lori, 33-year-old female, Chuck, 29-year-old male, and Jade, 25-year-old female. So somewhat around the same age. There's a little gap between the youngest and the oldest. Have always gotten the first and best from my parents and each other. I get the leftovers if I'm lucky. Wait, so 27. Okay, so he's like middle, kinda
Middle-ish child.
middle-ish child. So I haven't gotten a birthday present from any of my siblings in about 10 years.
What the heck?
Get your sibling
Come
a
on.
present. What are you doing?
I always get Sam a gift. It might come months late, but I always get him a gift.
I just got my brother dry aging bags for him to dry age his beef.
Oh, I love that. I took Sam to a Remy Wolf concert. That was.
Oh, really? That's
yeah.
cool. Remy Wolf is cool.
It was a really good concert.
Sweet.
I thought you just said, I got my brother meat.
I got my brother.
He would
meat.
be happy with that, but no, meat drying bags.
I love that.
Okay, but I still get asked to pitch in for group gifts for each
frick?
of them every year.
Your siblings suck.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, can you pitch in for our presents? But yeah, you don't need a present. It's not even like it's the oldest sibling either, where they're like, oh, that's basically an adult. They don't need anything.
Yeah, no, this is like just 27.
Yeah.
Who
So
wants a gift?
by the way, this comes from you self-serve sports wash on the ROK Storytime subreddit. So on Friday night, we were having a family dinner, and it honestly felt like every other sentence was a dig at me or a less than subtle brag by my siblings about something they have been given by my parents that I was denied. They talked about how nice almost all of our weddings were, but made sure to mention it was okay that my wife and I had a small low-key wedding.
They were like, yeah, our weddings were so big and amazing.
And
It's
fantastic.
totally fine that yours was like small and lame.
It's
Don't worry.
okay.
Don't feel bad.
It's not great, but it's okay.
It's fine.
And it was okay. We loved it.
It was okay.
It was okay.
Guys.
But they brushed over the fact that my parents paid for all of my siblings' weddings, but not mine.
What the frick? But you had a small wedding. Maybe it was so small because they wouldn't pay for it.
No, that's what I'm thinking. Maybe
Yeah.
like they had to have a small wedding because the parents didn't pay for it. Okay, because somehow they couldn't afford it. So they bought everyone else's wedding, but when it came to OP, they're like, oh, we don't
I
have the
don't know.
money.
We've spent so much money.
On
And then
all
it
your
got to
other
the 25-year-old
siblings.
and it was like, oh, okay, we can spend money again.
Yeah. Cowbot is God says, your wedding was so cute.
Your wedding was like homely.
It was really quaint.
It's really nice.
Small.
It was really rustic.
Intimate.
But size doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
It's fine.
It doesn't.
It doesn't.
Oh, okay.
It
Struck
doesn't
a chord.
actually. Because somehow they
What was that? Hold
I
on.
said I struck a chord.
it like literally doesn't.
It doesn't.
Because somehow they couldn't afford it. Because they were saving up for Jay's wedding. So they're like, we can't. They literally
afford
are
it.
just like, no shame. Like,
Yeah.
we can't pay for your wedding because we're paying for your sibling's wedding.
Sorry.
I'm just gonna say
Yeah, they call dibs.
it. So they brought up how little student loans they have because my parents helped them. All of them lived on campus at expensive 4-year schools, but also Sophia went to Oxford.
I literally went to Oxford.
She's like,
Did
really?
you say Oxford?
I would.
She got educated at Oxford.
You went to Oxford.
I went to Oxford.
Yeah. I'm educated. I lived at home and went first to a very prestigious, very hard to get into watchmaking school.
Okay, cool.
Cool. I've never heard that.
It's pretty sick.
I got paid to attend the school, so I paid rent at home. But the parents are paying for your siblings to live outside of home, but you have to pay to
You
live
have to pay
at
to
home.
live in
Should we
the
get a
home?
payment tree here?
Sucks.
But yeah, I feel like he's paying up for a lot of stuff. That's really
Yeah.
He's paying.
Hannah should have just paid for him.
This is like
No.
This is like just to compare it to our economy. OP is the middle class paying taxes to support the wealthy 1%.
Literally. Yeah, OP is actually the one financing
Yeah.
their siblings.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm reading comments, laughing. Okay. My parents paid for my tool. Okay. So they got financed a little bit by the parents. And I appreciate the help. I really do. But they paid $120,000 to $150,000 each for my sibling. So that's potentially like $450,000, almost $500,000
That's
they paid for their
that's
education
crazy.
for the siblings.
And they wouldn't pay for OP.
And they paid for their tools.
They pay for the watch.
They give me $7,000 for tools.
That's crazy.
Which is
That's
compared
crazy.
to $120,000 to $150,000.
That's like not 7K is not even housing. That's like 2 months rent, or maybe I don't know, depending on actually that maybe 4 months rent.
So, but to them, it's equal. When I went back to school on my own, I didn't ask for money and wasn't offered it. When my brother went back to school, they covered everything without even having to ask. Okay. At this point, we gotta ask: like,
just
are they
hate OP.
adopted? Are they an
Yeah.
affair baby? Like,
Why do
were
they
they
hate
an
OP?
accident? Like, what is happening?
I think sometimes I don't know. I mean, like at least in shows when you have multiple kids, there's always that one kid that's just kind of
the
like
runt.
yeah, it's
like,
like
F right
they'll be
away.
fine.
It's just jammy. No one likes jammy
He's
anyways.
such a narc.
And they always do like the weirdest things. Like
Yeah.
they're like the weird one-off sibling.
Yeah, they just don't like no one.
Because it's
no one's
always like
looking
the
after
two
them.
butting out. Like they're like the main characters, and like all right, you're in the background,
Yeah.
and that's OP right now.
Yeah,
Like Malcolm in the Middle, it's like the very youngest one,
It's
kind
I
of.
literally was gonna make that. Example.
Really?
Don't you dare call out Dewey right now.
Dude, shout out Dewey. I love Dewey.
Dewey.
I love
Love
Dewey.
Dewey is a goat.
Yeah, well, they put a lot of emphasis on.
Well, there was
Malcolm.
4, so
'Cause Malcolm was
it
the
was
genius.
Francis. Francis is the weird one.
I liked him out.
I loved Francis. I had such a crush on
Did ya?
Francis. Yes.
Okay.
Oh, I loved Francis.
Shout out Francis.
Shout out.
We're plugging in Malcolm in the middle.
Shout out.
What'd you
Francis.
say?
We're just plugging Malcolm in the middle.
Yeah.
Yes, I love
I'll
that.
plug
It's
it
such a
every
good
day.
show.
It's really so good.
It was
Shout out
genuinely a
Malcolm.
very
It
good
was a
show.
fantastic
Yeah.
show.
All right, back to
Very
the story.
well
Back to the story. Back to the story.
When my there were just many other small moments, comments about cars and other lifestyle choices, but what made me snap was my brother and his wife mentioning their marriage being so great because they do things like spontaneous dates, like the one they had the prior Friday night. The Friday night where my parents called my wife and I last minute to cancel plans. They had to eat dinner at our house because they had to watch Chuck's kid because of an emergency. Oh,
So so OP was like, we were gonna have a date night, but then we had to help them. My parents. Was that just what happened?
so OP was gonna. Okay, wait. Plans they had to eat dinner at our. Okay, so the parents are gonna come over to
Yes.
OP's house to eat dinner with them, and then they canceled because of the emergency.
Oh,
but the
okay.
emergency was in quotes because essentially it was that this OP sibling just wanted to go on a date night.
Oh, okay. So the sibling was bragging about it, and OP was like, I freaking had to like,
Like,
what the frick?
yeah, I.
Like you messed up my plans.
Yeah. So it turns out that emergency was a dinner for Chuck and my sister-in-law at Texas Roadhouse. Well, that's an emergency. Maybe he needed protein. He needed the
Need
steak.
that meat.
Sounds good. I had spent hours making my grandpa's ziti and meatballs with homemade marinara because it's my mom's favorite. He put a lot
She
into
canceled on
and
you.
they canceled.
That's so messed up.
hours to make the marinara. I wanted more than anything to scream at them. But instead, I got up and left without saying a word, and my wife followed me. When my mom called me later to ask why I left, I just explained exactly why. I explained the favoritism, the unfairness, and the fact that it doesn't feel like they care about me. She didn't say much, and I wasn't really looking for an explanation or an apology in the moment. I just felt like it was self-evident, but if she really didn't see it, I'd spell it out.
This feels like OP was like, it feels like you don't care about me, and the mom was like,
Ooh, about that.
About you?
care about you?
But your siblings, though. Have you looked? They're pretty cool.
For a sec.
Mirka Weiss.
That's so sad.
Not the baked ziti. Exactly. Not the baked ziti. A lot goes into the baked ziti. So evidently, at least parts of what I said have been shared with my siblings because now Chuck and Lori are furious at me and saying I ruined dinner. And my mom is upset that I am hurt. They say I'm immature for keeping score.
No.
They're like, OP ruined dinner. And there's like, my relationship with all of you guys is ruined. And they're like, yeah, but like you really killed the vibe.
Yeah. No. It's not keeping score. It's just saying like, hey, you literally care about everyone more than me.
Yeah, it's one thing to keep score when it's like, it's not exactly equal, but it's equitable. You know, everyone gets their own thing and it's not the same, but it kind of all evens out. This is just so evidently
just like 0-50.
not equaling out in the slightest.
Yeah.
And it's just so obvious. So update time. About a week after that post, my wife and I sat down with my parents and cleared the air. Shout out communication. Okay. As several people suggested, I wrote down my thoughts and compiled, to the best of my knowledge, a listing and full accounting of the disparity in what my siblings were given over the years and what I was given. I did actually sit down and do the math, and it turns out that while I was at the Technicum, I actually paid my parents more in rent than they ever paid for my tools. So they're like, I paid them more than they ever even gave money to OP. And they put almost $500K, almost $500,000 into OP's sibling.
Ridiculous.
But the final reckoning came to between around $370,000 on the high end, Jade, to around $190K on the low end, Chuck. So even more than the original estimation.
Yeah. Well, it makes sense. It's for colleges.
Yeah. College is expensive. Damn. For how much my parents directly gave to my siblings that they never gave me. Oh, and it was their weddings as well. Sitting down and seeing the full amount all spelled out like that is probably the angriest I got during the whole mess. Yeah.
Like they do like they write a number on a sheet of paper and they'd pass it over.
Yeah, pass it over. It's like, yeah. I'm sure it felt like a dagger to see the difference between that. But like OP's like negative money, and they're like in like the, what was it? Like the highest was
like, you owe me
$370K. One of them got, and he's negative money from them.
Messed up.
So my parents had been aware that there was discrepancies, but really pushed back on the actual amounts until we sat down and went through each major gift incident case by case. Glad that the parents are like, not like, F this, we're not even gonna look at it.
That does look
They're like
bad.
like putting on their
Seems like
glasses.
there's some sort of deficit in here.
I'm sensing some disparity. Interesting.
We were going off the Laffy curve, which is if you increase spending on all of our other children and decrease spending on you, we would balance.
It all
the children
evens
budget.
out. That's what we were going for. But so, which point my dad admitted.
Sorry, guys, I went to Oxford.
You're what?
I went to Oxford. It's no big deal.
She went to Oxford.
I know about the Laffy curve. It's like whatever.
By which point my dad admitted my reckoning was likely conservative. So the dad was like, it's actually worse than you're thinking.
Yeah, add a couple zeros to
You're
that.
in the general area. Move the decimal.
We're being a little generous to us.
That was more or less the end of any productive talk that night. My dad just claimed they didn't think it had gotten that bad, but wouldn't give any details about how they could have possibly not noticed. In the interim, Chuck and Lori continued to escalate their anger, continue to call and text me, my parents, and extended family. Extended family? They're like texting like Aunt Jamie.
Can you believe this?
It's like,
he's saying that we don't give them any money.
ridiculous.
That's stupid.
Anyways, you shouldn't give them money now.
Stop sending them birthday gifts.
Yeah. Why? I'm always confused when
They involve other people.
in like so many stories, people are like involving like freaking their third cousin.
Yeah, it's
I'm
like,
why
your third cousin doesn't like you.
why does third cousin Amy need to know about this? How is that relevant? So I've not spoken to either of them directly since, and I don't expect to anytime soon. But we wouldn't want you not to talk to us, so you could join us live on YouTube every weekday at 3 p.m. PST. Just tap our profile.
Don't neglect us.
Please. We get lonely.
Okay. Whatever you say.
Guess we
Alex.
get lonely.
We get needy too.
It's winter.
Winter is coming.
It's getting cold. It's cuffing
Please.
season.
We need you. There's another relevant update, but let's discuss.
Let's just.
What's
freak us-
happening? I can't imagine like with the it's probably so awkward for the parents. Again, they're putting on the accounting glasses and they're like, "Oh, you're right. That's awkward." Like they kind of have to admit that like, "Oh, maybe we just
Okay.
like our other kids more."
It's like, maybe we just don't like you.
Yeah, like there must be a like
Gotta be a reason.
there needs to be like a really relevant reason.
Yeah.
Otherwise, just like it's already such a
It's just
bad
embarrassing.
look. It's already so embarrassing.
Yeah.
Like, how can you come back from this? Cool. So roughly a week after that first sit down, my mom and dad asked to meet again. And also, why are the siblings getting so upset? Are they maybe feeling like defensive of like, oh, our money's gonna...
Yeah, they're
Like,
like,
are
now
they
we're gonna have
feeling-
to share our money 4 ways.
Yeah.
Before it was only 3 ways.
when we only had 3 children. Anyways, lots was said, but the gist is this. They felt I was doing well and didn't need their help. Basically, they thought I would be fine without them. They admitted they probably live outside their means and gave more to my older siblings than they should have and could never have given me that much. They claimed the timing of my wedding lined up with probably the most dire of their overspending / lack of saving because they were giving that money to their other kids. And that they literally did not have the funds to live up to their promise, especially as they were paying for Jade's tuition, car, and apartment at the time. So literally, they were like, sorry, we're paying for her. We couldn't pay for you.
We couldn't split the funds.
Yeah, we didn't have enough for you. They have offered money. They have offered to pay for vacations, a car, all kinds of stuff. But I think they don't really get it yet.
Yeah.
Okay, so like
They're just trying to throw
retroactively.
money at this like to fix the problem.
Yeah, other than like acknowledging that,
Yeah.
like that's super isolating and hurtful for OP.
Yeah.
My wife, Ellie, says they're worried the favoritism is going to end.
The other kids.
Yeah. They're like, this is actually a sick setup.
This is
Don't
actually
ruin this for
working
us.
Really well for us.
Yeah, we got so much money. Chill. Alyssa says, we flipped a coin. Yeah, I think they're like, who's the rent of the house? OP.
Sorry.
Yeah. My wife and I don't want their money, but we aren't really sure yet what an ideal resolution to this looks like. At least they have admitted they were unfair and are open to working things out. My wife and I spent Easter with Jade and her husband, and my grandparents, my mom and dad, came over in the evening. This seems to be more or less the new normal for now. That's it.
That's it.
That's the story.
I mean, at least you talked to them and they kind of admitted it a
They were
little
like,
bit.
yeah.
They're like,
Okay.
Like,
okay,
"You
yeah.
What you gonna do about it?"
Evil plot.
Yeah.
Hmm.
They're
We
like,
almost got
you
away with
flinched.
it if it wasn't for you meddling kids.
Yeah. Well, I guess this is like, I think this is a, like, we're heading on a good path, I would
Yeah.
say. But it still seems like they're in that we can just use money to fix everything.
For sure.
Like, money buys our kids love.
Yeah.
And they
And
don't
it,
understand
and it seems
that.
like they have an irresponsible relationship with
Yes.
money
Yeah.
and giving it to their children. And so I don't think that's going to mend anything with this. This is what like got them into trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I can't speak for them. I'm not them. But what I would imagine OP would just want is to acknowledge
Yeah.
the hurt
Just like recognize it. Let's have conversations.
of being excluded from the family, like severely financially.
Yeah.
Just like, yeah, that's so crappy. Like, I can't imagine what it was like for you. Like, we're so sorry. I imagine like that's OP is what wants to,
Let's spend that
Here.
money on therapy.
yeah. I kind of look like Francis from Malcolm in the Middle. I don't think so at all.
I don't see it, but
Yeah.
I'll
He was
pull it
like
up.
blonde as well.
No, he's blonde and like doesn't have a beard. He has like stubble.
Yeah.
he's blonde and he looked like he had in this, I don't know.
Dark mode Francis.
I don't think so.
Not at all.
Um,
That's the end of that story. And if you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love
We love you. And see you tomorrow.